Hey, y'all. And I'm saying, hey, y'all, because there's nobody here right now. We got 0 viewers, and I don't expect to see a whole lot, but we're going to see if anybody shows up. Because I had a comment from one of the viewers in the UK about my last live stream and just being a poor time for them to be able to see what's going on, because my live streams have been going on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and with the time change over in the UK, that puts it at 9, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that, I think, if my mind works right. So we got 11 people showing up. Let's see here. Let me get over to comments and see who's here. Well, Craig's here. He's in Florida. I don't know where Scooby's at. Where's Scooby? Where y'all put in there where you're from here, because this is kind of an experiment to see about this time zone. As I was saying, it's one of the viewers, Miss Mia Coulter. She commented in YouTube about, I just never can get to your live streams because the time. So I'm trying to do this a little bit early, so that, because right now I guess it's 9:30 at night over there. So we'll see if any of those folks pop in. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little recreating of a file that I had from last year. In the last live stream, I'm drawing a blank. Stacy asked about doing the door hanger for Valentine's Day, and I had one that was on Laser Maker's Realm last year, and it was really basic, and it actually kind of was a little bit frail because the hearts were really thin. And it was a play on this truck, and this was a 3-dimensional truck, obviously, but the door hanger was just one layer. It didn't have the raised fenders or the tires like this one's got. And I'm going to rework that file, and you guys can watch or comment, talk, chat, ask questions. I'll stop periodically and check the comments. But I see everybody's, looks like everybody here still in the U.S. And this, again, like I said, I'm not expecting a big turnout because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30 in the afternoon, or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. People are at work here. This was kind of an experiment to see if many or any of those across the pond would tune in or wanted to tune in and chime in. So as you see people popping in, just tell them, hey, yeah, where y'all from? Kind of see, feel them out, see if we can find any of those funny talking people. Because I don't talk funny at all. All right, so I've downloaded I'm going to bring this file in, and I'm going to bring in the old file from the old door hanger into Lightburn and clip and mix and grab and tweak and change and edit. And so I'm going to be doing some node editing. I'm going to be doing a bunch of different things with this file. So Scooby, I am in North Carolina, also known as the redneck capital of the world, Gastonia, North Carolina. So, no, Jeff, you ain't one of them funny talking people. You ain't. I'm talking about them funny talking people. Hello, Governor. How's your day today? Those folks. That's what this time period is about, is to see if any of those young folks, ladies and men, gentlemen, any of those pop in here. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, Portugal. All right, that's good. Welcome. Like I said, we're just going to do a little bit of design work in Lightburn, and hopefully it doesn't get too boring for you. And if, like I said, I will stop periodically and check with the comments and see how things are going. And let's jump over here to Lightburn. I'm really looking for Mia Coulter, and I don't know what. Well, actually, hopefully that'll be her name that pops up in the comments, because that's her YouTube is @Mia Coulter. So if you see a @Mia pop in here, say, hey, he's looking for you. All right. So let's go over to Lightburn. That's right. And there. All right. So this is the basic file. And I cut this out of usually around 4 to 5 millimeter plywood. And that's the reason. Let's see what these slots were here. That was 4.6 millimeters. Oh, I didn't mean to scroll that up and go back. There we go. So the last time I cut it out, it was around 4.5 millimeters. And I'm going to leave that probably the same because these were really frail. These two did okay, but when you start getting down here, it's starting getting really thin, and the tendency to want to break was just, I went too frail with it. And we're going to change all that. But I'm also going to bring in layers from the truck. So let's see if I import. I haven't even found this file yet. Lightburn. Truck. I don't even know where that truck's at. You know what? It might be in the e-commerce files. Open desktop e-commerce. Do I have that in the truck? What do I call it? Farm truck. There we go. Farm truck. Open. I don't want to open. I want to import it. Stupid. I'm going to import farm truck from the e-commerce. E-commerce. Farm truck. Open. All right. So there's my farm truck file. Now there it's got my fenders in it. It's got my tires, my hubcaps. I'm not going to need any of this. So I'm going to delete all that. I'm probably going to keep this truck. We'll see. We don't need both of them though. So I'm going to select that and delete that. And now those will not be messed with. Those are going to be left alone. And we'll see what we get here. All right, looking at the comments, got to get a drink too. I resemble the funny no. Portugal, yes, got that. I'm going to take your design and apply that to a motorcycle for a Harley friend of mine. Okay, for the door hanger. Kind of might have a hard time spilling hearts out of the back of your Harley. But yeah, you could make a nice door hanger with the Harley. Okay. You know, you gotta have me and my RZ. And no, I'm not paid for bringing my RCs into my videos. Now the ones I used to do when I first started out, I had my Spree candy, SPREE. It's a hard shell candies. I like them better than sweet tarts, but I haven't been able to find them lately. And their slogan was like, it was a kick in the mouth or something like that. But I've always said, if it's free, it's for me. Well, if it's spree, it's for me. But I can't find my Spree. But I used to put them in my videos all the time, and that's a Willy Wonka candy. And I would be hollering at them and tagging. So hey, you know, I'm putting these. I have boxes of candy. Send me a case of candy. Send me a case of candy. Nothing ever came of it. All right, so back to Lightburn. All right, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this truck. I know I'm going to get rid of these hearts, these little frail hearts, and I'm going to keep this layer here because this is my special crosshatch that I've got. It's well, it didn't get saved right in the laser maker's realm, so it should be a crosshatch and a bidirectional fill, and that looks like about the right line spacing. and then it should have a line after fill. So let's add a line after fill. I'll have to check my settings later. So, okay, because that, if we look at just that stake bed in the preview, that gives me that look. And I liked that because that gave a kind of a, it was not obviously not a wood grain pattern, but it gives it some texture than just a regular plain engraving on the stake bed. So we'll keep that for right now. I'm going to start getting rid of the hearts, and I may end up, it may be actually easier just to start from scratch, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And what I also had, I had where the hearts overlapped. These are engraved lines like I have on the Amazing Grace cross. So this was something I was doing back even, over a year ago. All right. And then that one's going to be part of the stake bed. So I'm going to use my node editing, and I'm going to come right here to that origin, and I'm going to hit my B for break that one, and come down here to this corner and B for break that one. Now, when I go back and select just that heart, I can delete that, and it's broke apart that bed piece. But that came on down there, so I'm missing. That's okay. I can just draw a straight line from there to there. That black line's got to go, and that one's got to go. So straight line and go to the red layer. Got it. All right. So connect there to there. And I got to break that apart. So edit, break, and I'll break here. So that keeps that. Okay. I have to break that one there. And all the way down here. Okay. So that cleans. Oops, I got to get rid of that little piece of the heart in there. What's turned off? I'm just curious. Oh, that was turned off. The tire feel. Okay. All right. For now, I'm gonna put everything in line mode so it's easier to see everything. Or actually, I'll just turn that off. Don't even show it. I'll turn that back off. And now I should be able to see these. That looks like that's got to go. That's got to go. That's got to go. Okay. Now, all right, that's already broke. That's a separate line. That can go away. In fact, let's just draw that. Yep, that worked. Nope, because that's part of that top line up there for some reason. And that's part of that bottom line. Those are separate pieces. Okay. All right, so delete, 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 and delete. And now I'll connect those and that. Okay. Look and see what, because I don't want to ignore everybody. Do you remember the soda? Do you remember the soda Kickapoo Joy Juice? It was like an early version of Mountain Dew. Yeah, no, I don't know the Kickapoo. That one, I know Mountain Dew. I used to be addicted to Mountain Dew, but I don't do many of the citrus soft drinks anymore. Jeff says Spree is just coated sweet tarts that are pressed differently. They got a different flavor. I like sweet tarts too, but they've got a different twang to them. to me anyway. But you're maybe right. They may come out of the exact same slurry and go right down two different. You come down the same assembly line and then fork, and you get. But is Sweet Tarts Willy Wonka? I know Spree's Willy Wonka. Hello, Jerry. This is an unusual time zone for people who's just tuning in late. I'm not expecting a big turnout here. Had a couple of comments in the YouTube comments from folks over in the UK going, "Hey, we can never catch you because it's always so late." So I said, I'll do one early just for the heck of it. I need to rework this file, and I said, you know what? What's his name? I love to watch Adam on Tested, from Mythbusters. And he does stuff like this in his shop. He'll just sit around and design, and people just kind of hang out with him while he's working, and it's somewhat entertaining. So I said, yeah, I'm no Adam Savage, but I'll see if anybody wants to watch, and if people want to see stuff, learn stuff while I do it, and have any questions, bring it up. And then also the other thing that came up with those from the UK, what I'm trying to do in my live streams, and I'm going to do. I'll do a free file or two in this stream. I'll probably make, once I get this finished, I'll make it available for free for those that are watching the live stream. Excuse me. But because of the time change, or the difference in times, those in the UK were always missing out on that because I would only let that be free for a few hours. And by the time they seen it the next day, it was gone. So this is what I'm trying to be all inclusive, but I don't want to just put my stuff out there that's free forever, a few hours, and incentivize people to try to catch the live streams. But obviously everybody can't see every live stream because everybody's somewhere. So I'm trying to be accommodating. So what we got here? Who's Jonathan from the UK? Yep. 2146 military, so it's 840. Is that 8 or 9? 7. Hell, I don't know. What are you using that army time for? 2146 is gonna be less 3. That's 9. 946. Yeah, so I was trying to be inclusive to you guys over there, and y'all funny speaking fellows and ladies, and the proper speaking, proper English. 953. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's get back over here. Let's get to editing. Let's keep going. All right. So I've eliminated all those lines, but when I did, I was able to see that I've got all these individual pieces here that all these are going to need to be joined. And I'm going to, wow, there's a lot of individual pieces. This design was a bit of a mess. Wow. Thanks, Craig. Man, dude, bless you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm not even running any requests for support, but thank you. All right, node editing. Nodes. You got me all fumbuzzled there. Greg, all right, node editing. I want to bring this node just straight over and connect it there. And now, and I'm not going to bother connecting that yet. I'm going to drag this one over and connect it here. It didn't connect. I didn't go far enough. There we go. Now you can still see that these are a bunch of different pieces. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to attempt to just select them all and use Alt-J. Now, if we look real close, you can see this type of ants right here, they're running to the right, or they're running in a clockwise direction. But these ants running along the bottom and up the side are running counterclockwise, and they're running into each other right here. So that right there, if I was to take a look, you can see that's where these two separate pieces are meeting each other. Well, if I scroll back out and I select this whole thing, and now you can see where they're running into each other. And now I'm going to hit Alt-J, Alt-J. You see those change? and now they're all running together, that Alt J is join, and now that's one piece. Instead of having to go around and connect each and every individual node. So I'll go into node editing and see this one's really funky. And that one's got a really oddball something going on here. Edit, we'll go to node editing. I'm going to get rid of that little jewel. And we'll bring this one down here. And then bring this one over here. And this one here. And I'm going to leave. I wanted these to be all whoppy jawed because this is supposed to be that wood stake bed. It's not perfect. It's not going to be, perfect symmetry. It's going to look deformed and old rotten wood. That's the whole idea. So now I will do the same thing again. I'll just select the whole thing. I'm going to select the whole thing and Alt J and double check it and make sure it's all selected. And yep, that's one piece. All right, now this one is not going to join because I think it goes all the way down the side, but we're going to connect it here. Nope, it goes over here, and we'll connect it here. Yeah, and that dead ends there because, in fact, I can actually go ahead and connect that. For right now, we'll bring that up and connect it there. And I think that got connected. Yep, looks like it. All right. In fact, to double check that, if I'm not sure if that is a closed shape, if I go up to edit and look right here, if that's grayed out, so closed path is not an option. If it was black and I was able to select closed path, then I would have still had some open shapes there somewhere. So, but that's a real quick test to look, hey, is it closed? Yes, it's closed. It's done. All right. Now, and just looking at the comments, yeah, well, Craig says always there when I'm stuck. You're appreciated. Well, you're appreciated too, brother. You really are. And I help folks. I had a chance to talk with somebody immediately after the live stream Sunday. I went one-on-one with them like this, and they were able to join me in the studio, and I helped them. They were proficient with CNC, but they were learning Lightburn and lasers, and we worked for probably 20, 30 minutes doing some stuff on files they were working on. I didn't charge them a penny, didn't ask them for a penny. And because I just love to help people. If they got questions or problems, I'm happy to help. And I'm just counting on folks like the good old senior Craig there to come through with a blessing whenever I don't expect it. And there we have it. Thank you. All right. So back to Lightburn, and no more questions or comments there. So we'll keep on going. All right. So my problem I had with that truck was those hearts were too small, too thin, too frail. And I don't like these hearts. These were done as part of the Halloween theme. Not Halloween. Might as well be Halloween as far as I'm concerned. Halloween and Valentine's Day. We'll get rid of those because I'm going to use the actual hubcaps instead of those. So we're going to get rid of that. Let's turn these layers back on so I can see who's on first. I think I want to make this a little bit bigger. Take it out a little closer to the edge. So if I select just that by holding my shift and left clicking that layer down here, my cuts and layers, and then tell it I want to do an offset, and I want to do both inward and outward. And I don't want to go that big. 0.2. Nope. 0.3. 0.5. We'll go 0.4. and say, and delete the original and say, okay. And I don't want to do that. Maybe I didn't want to do inward and outward. Let's get rid of this one. I'm on right there. Delete that. There we go. No, that's got to be on a cut layer. Let's go back and offset outward and delete the original and say okay. There. That's I didn't need to do inward and outward, just outward. All right, that fills that up better. Okay. So that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Now I'm going to bring in one of my hearts. Art library. Heart. And I'm going to rotate. Let's see. I don't like quite the shape of that for this. I'm going to flatten it a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to duplicate it and set the original over here for a second. This one I'm going to put over here in the bed of the truck, rotate it a wee bit so it's kind of laying in the bed of the truck. And trying to just envision where I want this and how I want it to look. We'll try that for now. And the other ones were too thin, too frail. So I'm going to do a offset inward, and we're working in millimeters. So let's do 5 millimeters. No, let's do 8 millimeters. And corner, and let's see what that looks like. I didn't want to delete. Yes, yeah. Plus, I don't like that. This was something that I was talking about in the last live stream, and Stacy was talking about she was having a problem. I think she did a problem with heart, actually. When you do an offset, and I'm not going to delete the original, you start getting these funky looking corners, and it's starting to look deformed. Because that's the way it is. There's actually nodes up here that's creating that, but you can eliminate that by simply say Control D, duplicate it, and now just shrink it down. And then that might be a little bit too much. Let's center it up at about where we want it. It's a lot wider up here than here, and that's because we shrunk it instead of doing an offset. By doing an offset, it keeps it an equal distance from the perimeter of the original piece, but it creates those funky shapes. And I'd rather have this than to have that real funky shape. Because that being wider here in that part of the heart versus around here, that doesn't look terrible to me. I think I can live with that a whole lot better than I can the misformed or misshapen heart. All right, so now I need to put that in the bed of the truck. So I got to make all of this part of the heart go away. Now, there are, I've said it 100 times. If I say it once, there's always more than one way to accomplish something in Lightburn. There is no one way that's the right way. There might be an easier way, but there ain't no wrong way if you get there. So what I'm thinking right now when I look at this is I need the bottom half of that heart to go away. And only the top half above the bed to remain. And then there's part of the heart that you can see in the stakes or between the stake bed. And with where it's currently positioned, I don't know that I like that, because that's going to be just a solid piece. I'm gonna, those are grouped. Oh, now they are. Let's change the size a bit. I think it's going to look better like that, because that will keep us a void here and here, making it very evident that this is part of the heart that you're seeing. When it was pushed up here like that, it wasn't quite so obvious. So I'm going to put it back there. And I've got to now where these, excuse me. Hello, Emma from Sheffield. Where you're seeing the heart through the stake, that's got to be welded to those. So first thing I'm going to do is, there's a lot of things that have to happen here, and there's so many different shapes. My brain's having to think for a second, because you could simply use the boolean tools, but let's just, I don't think you're going to be able to do it all at one time, but let's select all of these pieces. Nope, I don't want that one. I want, nope, it's not going to let me do it. So let's turn that off. Don't want to see you. All right. And I'm going to put this heart on the same red cut layer, number 2. Now I'm going to group these 4 along with the outline, group all that together. And now that's one object. It's a whole bunch of pieces, but it's one object. And these are 2 shapes that are grouped, but the group makes it one object. So if you have just 2 objects, you can use boolean tools, but I don't know that I'll get the result I'm looking for. But if I go up here to tools and use the boolean assistant, I can now look and see, well, I told you a fib. Is that what I want? That is what I want. I didn't think it was going to be quite that easy. So see, guys, I'm learning every day and playing and figuring this stuff out. And, like I said, there's 100 ways to get there, but boy, that sure was easy. I was afraid I was going to have to do all of those, or not all of them, but approach it from different possibilities. But the Boolean assistant lets you see all the possible outcomes of the Boolean tools. And obviously that's the one we're looking for. But if you're not aware, your Boolean tools can only work with 2 objects at a time. So by grouping those 4 plus the other outline, those 5 different objects, and grouping it, then that become one object. Then grouping the hearts, the 2, that became one object. So now I'm working with just 2 objects, the truck, the heart, and then the Boolean tools were able to give me this outcome. All right, now, but one thing I need to do, and I can easily undo that. Because I don't know if this was the same dimensions now. I'm going to say Control D, duplicate that one, and bring it over here, because now I know it's exactly the same. Now select that and the truck group and go to the Boolean tools again, and it was the union, and there we go. All right, so howdy from Ocean Springs, Dennis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As mentioned to Emma, thank you for joining in. This is Emma. This is for you, my dear. This live stream is for you folks over there that don't normally get to see the Hobo live because it's so late typically. It's a chance for you just to see me do what I do when I do what I do. I'm just going to be working with this design and recreating this for this Valentine's project. It's going to be a door hanger that sits in the corner of your door trim. that's going to be an old farm truck with hearts falling out of the bed and rolling down the side of the door frame. And for those hanging around, I will. And if you don't want to hang around for this entire live stream, because it's probably going to be a little long as I figure out how to make all this work, I'm going to be putting this on my website, hobowithwood.com, and it will be free. And you know about it because you're here. And it will be free for a few hours today, probably maybe till midnight tonight. So if you don't end up hanging around for this whole thing, just know that I'm doing this stream for you guys across the pond that have mentioned that, hey, I've missed out on some of your stuff and I've missed out on the files because of the time zones. But in addition to this door hanger, the one file that I did in the last live stream that one of the UK watchers mentioned they really missed out on and they hated was the follow your heart compass. I think that was it. Was it that one? I'll have to look and see. But I'm going to do this one free for a few hours tonight. The farm truck. I don't know if it was this one or not, but I'm going to have a second one. In fact, you know what? Just so I know, let me go back and look. Miss Mia. Yeah, it was pretty sure it was this one. This is Follow Your Heart, and it's a compass, a multi-layer, 6-layer compass. All points lead to your heart, and you just follow your heart. Now, this could be painted up in multiple colors and finishes, so it doesn't have to be Valentine's. Then you can change the fonts or lettering, whatever you wanted to do with it. But this is for the UK folks, or anybody that's, when I say UK, because that's where Mia was, and she says, "Hey, we're in the UK and we can't catch you." Well, anybody that's over yonder, this is for you guys. Everybody's welcome, but this is specifically for the people on the other side of the pond. All right, back to let's see. Well, I got a questions here. Oh, D. What's hope I'm not breaking international rules by watching from the US. No. Hello from South Dakota. No. This is just an unusual time for this because I want to be not all inclusive, but try and include as many as possible. I didn't know that you were doing one so quick after your announcement earlier today. I'm actually was a little late. I wanted to do this around 3:00, but it's just a lot going on. Alan, welcome from Haverville. Welcome. Question mark. You see questions. Don't you want the heart inside the stake bed? The stake should be over the heart, which I think that's where I got there, Bruce. I think that, yeah. My brain, as you've seen, I got there. I think that's the outcome that you were expecting or hoping to see. Ed, yeah, that's it. Yep. Okay. All right. So back over here to Lightburn. All right. Nope. That's where Mia's saying, "Hey, we missed out on you. Go back to Lightburn." There we go. All right. So now turn that back on so you can see. So yeah, so the stake bed's going to be over that. Now what I'm going to do to further illustrate that heart is behind the stake bed, I'm going to do like I did the letters of Amazing Grace. I'm going to go to my black layer. I'm going to go to my pencil tool, and I'll just draw a line. And everywhere that stake bed overlaps it, I missed that one. So there we go. Zoom in tight. Get my crosshairs and crosshairs. And that's going to engrave a line. Didn't want to do that. to illustrate it being behind it. Missed that one. Okay. All right. So now that will engrave. That'll look good. That'll look good. Now, what I'm going to do is, just for a point of reference, I'm going to draw myself a toolpath. I'm going to come down here to this corner, start a line, holding shift button, and draw it straight up. Try it again. Straight up. Put that on a toolpath. Toolpath. There we go. Because that just lets me know, as I'm designing these hearts and having them falling out of the truck, where that plane is. Where do I want to have that? Do I want it to be? I think I'll do that one like that. So it's actually still going to be kind of in the bed of the truck. I'm in my mind, the tailgate is gone. This truck does not have a tailgate. So it's just falling out of the bed of the truck. And then as I duplicate those, Control D, and bring them down, have them fall in different ways, and so I can interlock them. And I know where. And this one is irrelevant. It doesn't have to be on that same plane because it's going to be above the corner. So if and this is all subjective. It's all about, oh, didn't want to do that. Undo that. And actually scaling it right now would not be an issue because it just wouldn't matter. But I'm going to do that. What I'm looking at too is when it goes to cut this out, I don't want this so close to each other that it's going to be a hang up situation when you cut it out. Same thing here. Try to minimize some of your headaches as you're designing, but some of them just can't be helped if you want it to look good. And if you got your settings right and got your laser dialed in, you can overcome those little tight places. All right. I'm going to do that and say Control D, duplicate it, and bring it down. We'll rotate it. And this one, we'll rotate some more. Yeah. I'm going to get that one right up against the corner. And duplicate it. And what I did in the previous version is what I'll have one of these kind of oriented correctly like that. And then you can personalize this and weld, a person's name in here and then the person's name in the one below it. If you wanted to get all super sappy about it or make it a personalized, if it's not, for your Valentine, if it's for your granddaughter or whatever, and you just want to make it, something that's going to go in your granddaughter's room. It's like, hey, this is Missy's room, and it's, love Papa or whatever, so I'm going to do that one like so. Control D, duplicate it, bring it down, and we're going to rotate this one back in the other direction. And I think I'm going to do one more. Control D. And it's not going to be perfect horizontal, but it's going to be close. And it wouldn't actually sit like that in real life. If gravity was pulling it down, it would have something contacting. I'm going to bring her to there. All right. And I think that's far enough. What do you guys think? You think that's enough? Because I don't want to go too crazy and too long. But I think that's enough of them. Let's see here. Hi from Castleford, West Yorks. Hello, Nick. That's a name I recognize. Hi from the middle middle of the other pond. It's early where you're at. Wow. Actually, I think there's a 13-hour time difference maybe from here to Hawaii. What time is it in your time right now? So if you get the crosshairs, let's see. So if you get the crosshairs, then it connects the line automatically. It sometimes it connects. It may or may not actually connect. Like there, when I was doing the stake bed, when I was drawing the black lines, because they're on different layers, there was a black layer and a red layer. They're not actually connected, but by getting those crosshairs, I know it's perfectly aligned to that corner. Now, if you were doing the same layer, sometimes it will connect, but not always. There's always exceptions. I think it's supposed to, but sometimes because there's multiple crosshairs you get. Your cursor will go from your regular cursor to a squiggly little line when you just overlap a line, and then if you get over a node, it'll go from a squiggly line to a squiggly line in a circle. And then if you get to the midpoint of a line, it'll go to, I think, just a circle and a cross, or maybe a crosshair, no circle. And but you can get all kinds of different crosshairs. In fact, I'll show you here. But they don't always connect. Not always. And Belgium looks good to me. Nipa says she likes that. And I think I've asked this before. I don't know if I have two Nipas that are regular viewers. I have another one. They spell Nipa Nipa, and then I've seen yours pop up Neepa, and I was wondering, wait a minute, is that the same person? And they changed the spelling so people would pronounce it correctly, or have I got two Nipas? You've helped me so much in the past. Good luck with your future plans. Hey, man, future is so bright. I might should be wearing these all the time. It's 12:20 in the afternoon in Maui. Just 5 hours different since you're not on daylight savings times now. 12:20. 12:20. Oh, well, okay. I was thinking it was a much greater time change than that. Yep. I'll get the doggy step sizes to you soon. Okay. Yeah, I think we were talking about working with some doggy steps. Yeah. Yep. Okie doke. All right, let's look at those crosshairs real quick. That Dell mentioned about getting the crosshairs in, and it doesn't automatically connect the lines. Let's jump over here to Lightburn and just show you. We're not going to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm going to just show you these different crosshairs. Switch. All right. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a very basic square. And let's put it on a layer you can see real good. And I don't want to do it on that one. We'll do it on a red layer. And I'm going to right click and convert it to a path. Go to node editing. And right now you can see there are 4 nodes, because that's all you need to make a square. But I'm going to put in a node here in the middle. But I'm going to come over here and hit the letter M as in middle. And you see it put the node way over here in the middle, not where the cursor was at. But that's because I wanted it in the middle. And if you just hit M, that's where it goes. But you can use the I and put an insert, and then it'll insert right where your cursor's at. But now that I've put those 2 additional nodes in there, I'm going to come back here and just select just that. And when I scroll over here, you see my cursor changes from the arrow to a squiggly line, but you don't see a circle. It's just a squiggly line. If I come over to the corner, you see it got 2 different crosshairs there for a second. You got there, it's an X, and then you get right over that node, and then now it becomes a bullseye and a crosshair. That tells me I'm directly over that. And I honestly don't know the difference between that crosshair and that crosshair. I know that when you've got the circle, it's directly over the node. So if I come and to prove that, I'm going to come over here, and we know there's a node in the middle over here. And that gray square right there is telling us that's the middle. So if I hover over the line, you see there's a squiggly line there. But as I get close to that node, it will change. I don't want that. There you go. So there's the node in that line. I've got my target, my crosshairs, and a circle. That's right over the node. And I come over here to this one, and you get the squiggly line. You come down, and I don't know where that node's at, but there it is, right there. Because now I don't have crosshairs. I've just got a squiggly line and a circle. That tells me there's a node there. And if you were talking about trying to connect stuff, you got a straight line and a straight line. And you want to see about connecting these. If I go back to my line tool, if I come here and I've got my target, my crosshairs with the circle, that tells me I'm over the node. So I'm going to start drawing that line, and I'm going to come down here and look for that one. And now I'll come over here and do the same thing. I get my crosshairs and look for that. And I've got my snap turned on, so it snapped right to it. Now I've drew 4 separate lines, and let's see if those are connected. And see, 3 of them connected, but this one didn't. So see, it doesn't work all the time. I did those exactly the same. So why it didn't work, I don't know. But if I hold my shift button and select this one and hit Alt J, if you see these ants are running to this corner, these ants are running to this corner. So they're running to each other. But as soon as I hit Alt J, it just changed. Now they're chasing each other. That is now joined together. So it's like I said, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. I don't know the rhyme or reason, because I didn't do anything any different when I drew those lines down and connected it. Why it connected at the top one and not the bottom one, I don't know. But those nodes, just those different cursors, let you know when you're on the node. And if you're wanting to make sure you're going to start at the right point, I was able to join that without moving anything because I did go to the crosshairs. So, all right, let's get back to designing. Delete. Any questions, anything going on here? That's almost as bad as saying Worcestershire sauce. Hi from Winchester, Ohio. Okay. That sounds like that might be from over yonder. Yes, it's just easier to pronounce with the 2 E's. Okay, so same person. Yeah, but I got it right the first time when I seen it. I don't know if you remember, but I said Nipa. Yeah, I got it right. Question mark for Windows. What are the combo of keys to insert nodes? Oh, Dave. I've got a perfect video you need to watch because it is an in-depth dive on the node editing, the insert, the middle, and just real quick, let's see here. Just found I'm going to come back to that in just a second. Let's go back over. Actually, you know what? Let me find it first. Go to here and go to here and go to dashboard and content. And I'm going to get a link. Copy this and come here and paste it and share it. All right, so I just dropped a link in the comments there. And if I go over to here, this is the video, deep dive in node editing in Lightburn. Everything you wish you knew. It is a long video. It's 47 minutes long. And actually, that's probably a short video for me because I can be a long-winded, crazy SOB. But I go over, instead of just going into Lightburn, because you can go into Lightburn, and if you hover over the node tool right there, you'll get a drop-down menu that will tell you, it'll pop up for just a brief second. It'll tell you what all of those nodes shortcuts are right there by just hovering over it. But another thing you can do is when you're hovering over that, if you hit, F1, and that's going to pop up in the wrong place. So let's change that. Well, but it's because I got two different screens going here. But when you hover over the node tool, come on, I got to select that screen. There we are. Hover over that and then hit F1. It's going to open up in Windows a shortcut to the Lightburn documentation for that tool. And in here, there's that list about what all those shapes are, what all the shortcuts are. And I go over each and every one of these, how they work, when you want to use them and how to use them, how the trim works, what's the difference between trim and delete, and all that. That's all in that video that I've just shared in the stream there for the comments, in the comment stream. So go away with that. And Nancy says she just found this. It's too early to be drinking, Nancy. Nancy, the reason for this oddball stream at this time is I'm doing an oddball time to try and make sure I'm including some of the folks across the pond. Because they've been missing out on some of my free files that I share in the live streams, because by the time they see it, it's the next day, because it's been 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning by the time I ever share it. And then I only do it till midnight. So by the time they see it, it's gone. And they're like, ah. So no, I'm just trying to be inclusive. And I'm going to share this file, this door hanger, at the end of the stream. I'll get it all finished up and put it out there on Hobo with Wood. And for those who have just joined since I announced this will be free for everybody watching. But if you got stuff going on, you're at work and the boss walks up and you got to turn this off, you can't be watching this. Or if you're like, hey, the football game's coming on, I got to go. Just know that because you've been here, you know it's going to be posted to hobowithwood.com, and it will be free for a wee bit tonight. And in addition to this, also the Follow Your Heart compass will be free for just a wee bit. And for those tuning in for the live, only you're going to know that. Shh. All right. Wow. Thank you, Nick. Yep. I'm going to go get me some biscuits. I actually went to Waffle House today. I treated myself. I don't know if y'all got Waffle House over there, but that was a treat. You're late, but you're not going to miss out on anything. I'm just hanging out in the shop, just doing some design work, and I'll answer questions as I go. And Hello from Paris. Hello, Terry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's a good one to watch. It really is. Like I said, it's long, but it's I'm going to I'll go over each one of those and show you how they work instead of just reading what they do or what they are. You mm, okay. What's Nancy saying here? You are great trying to type with my mouse and the moonshine. With okay, yeah, trying to type with the mouse. That's not no. Yeah, I worked for the first 6 months or longer. I was doing Hobo with wood. I was doing it with my laptop, and I didn't even have a mouse. I was using that stupid pad mouse on there, and that was a pain in the butt. But I finally got me a real trackball mouse. And if you don't have one of these working with Lightburn, you need one. This right here sure makes it a whole lot easier. You start doing all kinds of dragging stuff around with the trackball and the scroll button. All right, so let's get back over here to this because now I got to weld these together because everybody, or we had enough people say, yeah, they like that, and that's enough. We're gonna weld these together. So switch this back over here. All right, so these are already grouped. Each of these are grouped together. So now all I got to do is select two of them at a time. But actually, you know what? I'm going to duplicate this because I'm going to these lines are going to disappear when I weld them together. But these are going to be lines that I'm going to want to have a copy of that it will be engraved because I want to engrave the lines here just like I did up here on the stake bed to show that they're overlapping. So I'm going to actually there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do this, but for now I'm going to look at doing this. I'm going to just duplicate it, put it on a toolpath for right now, turn that toolpath off, and actually I need to do both of them. I need to Control D, duplicate that one and put it on a toolpath. Now turn the toolpath off. Now select these two and weld it together. Now I'm going to turn my toolpath back on. And I did both of them because I'm going to need to have one of them go over. If it goes over here, it's got to go under here. So one of them is going to overlap on this side and the other one's going to overlap on this side. So I needed to duplicate it so I could see all four of those lines. But now, and here we go with the node editing. I'm going to grab this heart, which is the one on the bottom, and I'm going to have to ungroup it, go into node editing, and now I want to leave this part from this corner to this corner. So what I should be able to do, in fact, I'm going to turn off the red layer. All right. So now I've just got my toolpaths. So since this overlaps right here, or intersects, I should say, there's an intersection here, and then this heart comes all the way down and around till it gets back over here to this next point of, there's my next intersection. The way it's supposed to work is if I hit the letter T for trim, it should trim away every bit of that lower part of that heart from one intersection to the next. So I'm going to come over here to where I've got it right over that, and I'm going to hit the letter T. And it's not doing, oh, it's because I got them both selected, I think. Just try doing just the one. Go to node editing. Now hit the letter T. Oh, it's not doing it. All right. So trim is not working. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to insert right over that intersection, and same thing over here and here. And now I'm going to try that T again and see if it does anything. Nope. But now that I've got those, I'm going to if you hit the letter D, it will delete from there to there. But trim should, because if I go up here to nodes, T, trim line, it's supposed to trim it from one point to the next where they intersect. But it didn't do it. But D, delete, deletes that to in between the nodes. I'm just going to push that back up there. There we go. And now that I've got those, I'm going to just draw out. You can select as many nodes as you want and hit the letter D. Now, if I come back and just get my line, I can select that little part and just hit the delete button and get rid of it. I want to have this part. So nodes. I'm going to try it again on this one. I'm going to hit the, because there's an intersection and there's an intersection. The letter T should trim, but it's not trimming. Just for giggles, I'm going to come inside here and see what happens. Nope, nothing. T is not working. All right. I'm going to, but now here, if I don't have a node right here where they intersect. And if I come right down here and hit the letter D for delete, it deletes all the way up here to the next node. And that's not what you want. So that's why I inserted those nodes a minute ago where they overlap. So insert and insert. And now I can do the D for delete and come in here tight and delete. That's gone. That's gone. Insert, insert, and I didn't get that one quite where I wanted it, so I'll just roll it up there. Now D for delete. I didn't want to do that. I had that node selected, so it deleted the node, so I didn't want to do that. Delete the line. There we go. And there. So now I can go back to my selector and select that and delete it and delete it. And here, that's going to go over. So I want it to, while I've got it, I'm going to come here, ungroup those, go into node editing, insert, insert. And I just had an idea. This just hit me. Somebody might have even put it in the comments, maybe, about using the boolean tools to do what I'm doing here. Yeah, I could do that. Let's see. But I can't do it now, but I can do it up on the other two. And this just reiterates there is more than one way to accomplish. This one is a long way. This one's taking forever to get what I want. Insert, delete, and delete, and delete. And done and done. So now over here, and I think I'm actually done with that. I think. Nope. Undo that. What happened? I didn't break that one. Edit. There we go. Now I think I got it. Or did I? I don't know. We'll see. I think I did something wrong there, but we'll see. Turn these into a black layer because I don't think I need all those. Turn that layer back on. All right, so that one's going over. Then this needs to go under. So yeah, dummy. Way to go, dummy. No, that's right. I don't need these. That goes away, and that goes away. There. Geez Louise, that was a lot of work. I did that the hard way. We're going to do these the easy way, I think. Let's see if anybody mentioned using the boolean tools here. Comments. Let's go look here. Switch, switch, switch. Let's see. Da, da, da. I hate that center mouse waste of space. I think center mouse in the laptops. Yeah, I hate. Yeah, that's when you're talking about. I hate that. Craig says when you delete the line, then adjust the node to meet up with it. When you delete a line, then adjust the node to meet up with an existing line. Does it automatically attach itself? Sometimes. If it's on the same layer, almost always. But sometimes it's a bear. It's you struggle and struggle and struggle with it, and sometimes I'll be dragging the top line, and I'm trying to make it connect to the one on the right, and I'll drag it, and it just won't connect. So I'll get it to where it's supposed to be, and then come down and grab the right line and start moving it, and then it'll connect. Sometimes they just won't join, and so you just get them where you want to, select it, and Alt J for the shortcut for join, and that almost always connects it. And then sometimes that don't work, and you get frustrated, and you want to punch the screen, but instead you remember, oh yeah, there's another thing I can do. Select the entire thing that's not connected. If it's you've got it connected all but one place, select it, and then do a 0 offset and delete the original item. And that almost always works. Sometimes they'll fight you, and a 0 offset will almost always connect it and eliminate the problems. Wow. Thank you, Dave. I'm not asking for donations, but they are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, Chicago Bob. Appreciate you being here. We are. Let me do that. We're doing a special live stream and a special time slot for the folks over yonder, and sharing. I'm going to share this file and a file that they missed out on in the last live stream because of the time changes. So this is an experiment. I don't know why I keep popping that up there. This is an experiment to see how it goes over. I'm surprised to see 58 people here, and I thank every one of you for being here. And if you're not here for the entire thing, just know that this, when it's finished, will go on hobowithwood.com for free, and it'll be free. Probably, I don't know. We'll probably make it till because it's going to be not going to be super late. At least. I don't know. We'll make sure everybody gets it. I may end up making this free until midnight tomorrow, because I got a late start. I wanted to get started earlier today doing this, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, well, if I started around 3:00 Eastern time, then it's about 8:00 there. So it's not too early and not too late. But I got a late start. I was 9.5 late. How will the Boolean tool put one on top of the other, and then it won't, but it's going to save me some time. I think we're going to see. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think using the Boolean tools will give me the pieces that I need. That'll make me very easy to just edit those little pieces to create the overlapping lines, but it won't create the overlapping illusion. It's just going to make getting the pieces much easier, I think. We'll see. Mm-hmm. All right, Ed. Well, go eat, and yeah, it's always going to be available. The only pond I'm across is Lake Michigan. I tell you what, boy, I love that area. Now I stayed away from Chicago intentionally. I went down and around to stay away from it. But I went all the way around Lake Michigan. I went all the way up Wisconsin up the UP and across that bridge, that was a white knuckle of a drive. I'm 72 foot long, 13 and a half feet tall, and crossing that bridge. And I've ever since my strokes, I have got this ridiculous fear of heights. So I needed to have blinders on like a horse, but I couldn't get any, obviously, because even just seeing out the periphery, the height of that bridge was, that was one of the scariest things I've done since the strokes. I've jumped out of airplanes. I don't know. I was not afraid of heights until the strokes. Now I get wobbly kneed on a 6-foot ladder. Do 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 do, and then you got a neighbor, pond neighbors. He's on Lake Ontario. All right, so let's go over here and look and see if using the boolean tools to create the little pieces and edit those instead of doing all the node editing. I think it's going to be easier. Let's see. All right, so now I can select that, and I'm going to need to do the duplicates though. So I'm going to duplicate that, Control D, duplicate it, and put it on a toolpath. And I'm going to duplicate this, put it on a toolpath, and then turn off my red layer. So now I've got my two toolpaths there. And if I take this and go to my Boolean tools and look for just this piece and this piece. So I don't want that. I want that. And say, okay. And now turn back on my cut path. And I'm going to turn off the output to dim it. There we go. Now I can still see it, but it's now dim. So now I can select the toolpath. They're grouped. I'm going to ungroup them, turn on my nodes. And now I just got to figure out which one I want overlapping which. So this one, it goes under here. So I'm going to have it go over here and under there. So this is going to go over. So I want this one to disappear. So I'm going to hit the delete button, and I'm going to hit the delete button. This one's going over. This one's going to go under. So if it's going under, then D and D. Boy, that was so much easier. And now I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to put that on a black layer. And now I'm going to turn back on the red, and I'm going to select this red and hold my shift button and that red and weld it. Wow, that was so much easier. That's a little bit of a stickler right there. I'm going to get rid of that. So select it, and I'm going to go to the nodes, and I can just hit D and clean that up. Yep, that looks good. That looks good. Yeah, that was so much easier. So much easier. So that's what I'm talking about, folks. There's always another way. Sometimes there's a better way. That was a better way. But was the first way I did it wrong? No, I just went around my elbow to get to my but I got there. So that one was a whole lot easier. Paul got a long question here. What is a good size of cutting area for a laser cutter starting out? Under 24 inches or 50 centimeters seems too small if you mean to sell. Well, if you're thinking about or entertaining of buying your first laser, and you're talking about, hey, what's a good work bed? One, it's going to depend on what laser. What are you planning to make? Are you want to be working with wood? And if you're going to be working with wood, then the diode is all you need. But if you're wanting to be doing acrylic work and cutting acrylics and this is a tongue twister for me, clear acrylic, you ain't going to get by with a diode. And acrylics are a challenge with diodes. But if you're only going to be doing woodwork, then a diode is a very inexpensive way to get into a laser. And when you buy material, you're going to buy material one of three ways typically. If you're buying it pre-cut and ready to go onto a laser, then your two most popular sizes are 300 by 300 or 12 by 12, which is typically what I work with. 12 by 12, because you can get a lot out of a 12 by 12. And this is pre-cut, ready to go, 3mm Baltic birch. Or the other common size that's readily pre-cut and ready to use on lasers is the Glowforge size, which is what was that, 12 by 19 or something oddball. But those are all, or both of those are 12 inches tall. Then you have the other option of going to the box store, big box stores, and buying sheet material and cutting it down yourself. And then you'll find that, I think, like on this one, the Rolly Lasermatic, I can get a 16-inch square on here and cut out up to 16 inches square. And as far as, too small, if you're going to be selling products, what are you hoping to design? Because here we go. Oh my. If you're, this is, and I'm going to turn your comment off so there's not covering up everything. This is cut out of the 300 by 300 or 12 inch by 12 inch sheets. And this file is this file. And that's the real neat thing with the designs in the SVGs and the designs in Lightburn. Most of the time they're completely scalable. Practically all of mine are, because I usually try to design them this size so you can scale them up to this. But when you design them this size and you get in really intricate pieces and then you try and scale it down, well, now they're too intricate or they're just cut away and they won't work. So that's another design tip. When you're going to design and you're trying to make sure that it's scalable, then design small and so it can scale up instead of trying to go the other way around. But this piece is, that's 12 inches tall, and this is not even a complete file. It's a single base instead of a 3-layer base like this. You could do all 3 layers here, but that's something that I would consider kind of like a mantelpiece. That's too big for a desktop, but that you could set on your desk. And then the other problem you run into is, and we're going to get off on a tangent, and I'll do that in a minute. But you end up getting too. If you want to make stuff too big, the bigger, the more material, the more the cost. And you've got another neighbor right down from you if you're going to craft shows who's already doing laser stuff, and they're working out of corkboard and out of basswood, and you're working out of Baltic birch, which costs 3 times as much. And you're wanting to make bigger stuff, so it's a lot more material. You've just priced yourself out of the market because they're selling cheap crap, and that's what somebody's looking for. They're just looking, oh yeah, his is half the price, yours is. I'm gonna go down there. They don't see the value and the difference. I can make anything that I want to make using this Rolly MK2, and it's about a 16 square work bed. It's fully enclosed, precision second to none. I've got multiple lasers at my disposal. I've got the Falcon 2 20 watt, and I really like it. It's an open gantry, but no enclosure. It's a big machine. None of the enclosures I've got here really work well with it. The Comgrow Z1, I liked it a lot. Another open gantry, but you had to have a separate enclosure for it. I've got the Algo Delta, and I've not been able to get a lot of success with that one yet, because the lasers that you have to assemble and put together, if it's your first laser and you're the one that's got to put it together and make sure it's going to have the precision that you're expecting, good luck. If you've put together half a dozen of them, you figured it out and you know what to do or what to look for, yeah, you might be better at it. But I don't want to be putting together my first laser. This comes fully assembled. You got to put the lid on it and you're ready to go. And I'm going to put a link in here real quick. Let's see, https.com/withwood.com/Rolly. Make sure I spelled that right. Yep. If you haven't looked at this laser before, you need to jump over and look at this, because there is not going to be one that's going to be as nice, as precision, as well built. And you don't, if you're your first laser, you don't need something that's going to have a massive extended work bed. And this is all you need to get into the hobby. And this has everything you need to get into the hobby. So I hope that helps a little bit. Another real big seller for me are picture frames, little 4x6 picture frames, photo frames, 5x7 frames. I make them all day long with this. It's something that I can make them personalized and sell them for $39-$40 a piece. And you can make them out of a couple of sheets of, make them out of $6 in material, and you're selling a $50, personalized photo frame. You don't need a huge laser for that. Make quality pieces, super nice quality pieces with quality product with a good finish on it, and get a good price for it. You don't need to be making big stuff to bring value to it. In this case, size doesn't matter. All right. I'm not sure what that reaction was to, but Craig says 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I think we all learned something on that with using the boolean tools to create that. That was a whole lot shorter way to get there, and hopefully that's what you're talking about there. That was, and I'm going to do that on the next ones. And if any of you that are new to the Hobo stream, the reason for the numbers is if you learn something, you put a 1. If you learn a second thing, put a 2. If you learn a third thing, put a 3. It just lets the stream know that you're there, you're participating, and it helps with the analytics. Nancy says, I love my Rolly Lasermatic, and their support is the best, especially for a newbie. Yeah, that's another thing. If you've not bought a laser yet and you need, you're looking at, go on all of the different lasers not their websites, but the different Facebook groups that you can find for those supporting lasers, and look at the comments from the owners. You're going to find so many people complaining about, I can't get any help. They're gone. They can't. There is nobody at tech support, or nobody will ever respond. That ain't the case with the Rolly. You're going to have almost an instant answer from somebody in the Rolly Facebook group. The owner of the company is there. Dimitri is there. Myself, Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy. You're gonna have a wealth of knowledge coming from users, from the owner, and the owner is fast to respond to any potential problems. All right, so enough of that. Let's get back into designing. So because we got a couple more hearts to weld up here and overlap them. So So that one, I don't have that one done yet. And it's right. I got to, in fact, I'm going to do that one now. Let's see what all's grouped. What is that going to grab? All right. That is welded to the truck. All right. So that's one object. These hearts are grouped together. That's one object. So if I hold my shift button and select that one, actually, I need to have those overlapping. So I'm going to duplicate this one. I'm going to duplicate it. Actually, I'm going to try something here. How many do I have left here to overlap? I got to overlap 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to grab all of these, grab all 4 of them. duplicate it, Control D, put it on a toolpath. And now I'm going to turn off the red layer. And this one is the long chain. Yep. All right. So holding that one, hold the shift button, select that one. And so the problem is when I do that, it's going to get rid of, when I do the Boolean tools, it's going to give me these pieces, but these won't exist. They're going to disappear. So what I might have to do is I'm going to have to duplicate this one again. Control D, duplicate it. And while it's selected, I'm going to hold my shift key, select the lower one, and use my Boolean tools to get that piece right there. I don't want, yeah, because this disappearing is irrelevant because that's all I needed it for was just those. So I can say okay. Now I've still got this one, and I'm going to need to duplicate this one again. So duplicate it, Control D, hold my shift button and select this one. And is that part of it? No, that shouldn't be part of it. Now, and the Boolean tools and the union. Yep, I think that's right. And say okay. So now this one. So I need to duplicate that one again. Control D, duplicate it. Hold my shift, select that one. And what was it? This? Yep, that. And now duplicate that. No, I don't need to duplicate it. That's the last one. So turn on my red layer again. Actually, we'll turn that back off a second. And I'm going to put this one on the red toolpath. Is that going to make it any easier for me? Show. Yeah, that's going to help a little bit, I think. No, not really. I'm having a hard time. All right, well, it's selected though. If I turn that off, there we go. Turn that off. So yeah, I've selected that heart. Now that it's selected, I can turn that cut layer back on, hold my shift button, select this red heart, and no, I'm going to need to duplicate that because I need to get those overlapping lines. And actually, you know, yeah. Yep. I'm going to duplicate that. Control D, duplicate that, put it on a toolpath. Now turn off the red layer completely and grab this one and get the union there. So that gives me that overlap. Now if I turn those back on and I just weld the red layers together, weld, weld, weld. That should be all of them, I think. Is that, what is that? Nope, those aren't welded yet. And there, and weld. And yep, now that's all of them. Now I can turn back on that. There's my lines. I've got to edit for my overlapping. Okay. All right. So that one goes over, under, not that it matters. If it goes under here, I want this to come up and go under that one. So I'm going to ungroup those, go into node editing, and what I say, that's over. I'm going to go under. So I'm going to delete and delete. That goes under. Now I'm going to come over here and go over. So delete, delete, delete. Get in there real tight. Delete and delete. Okay. So that's under, over. So that's under. This is going to go over. So under. Actually, I did it backward. So under. Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way around that one. Nodes. Ungroup. There we go. So under, over. I want to get rid of these. And again, it doesn't matter. Just being, I don't know why I'm being this way. It's just the way I want to do it. So I'm going to do it that way. So that's over. This is going to go under. So if that's going under, then delete there. And let's grab those, put it on the black layer. Black layer. All right. All right, now I got to get rid of this part of that. Or no, actually, that's trash, I think. Nope. Nope. I got it. I got to have that. Undo that. Go back. Is that part of that? Nope. That can go away. So delete that. Or do I need it? Nope. I need it for up here. Okay. So I'll delete that once I get those and those. All right. So over, under. So that's under. Let's go over here. So come here, ungroup you, turn on the nodes, over, or go under and over. So this one is going to delete, delete, delete. There we go. So that's over. And this is going to go under. Okay. And this one, ungroup you. Over, under. And I think that's that. So this, delete you. No, what happened? I forgot to ungroup it. No, it's not grouped. All right. So what's the deal, Pickle? That's just that, and that's just that. So yeah, that's what. So put that on black layer. What are you attached to? Nothing. Okay. I don't know why that did that. All right. Black. Black. All right. So that's interlocked. Oh, okay. Well, I need to draw those lines. Okay. All right. That's easy enough because those are just straight lines from here to here. Oh, didn't quite get there. It's all right. I can just pick it up and finish it. Okay, now let's see what we got. Heart, there, and it's behind the bed. That heart is interlocked with that one, and it's behind the bed. It comes out. It's interlocked here. And actually, I need a straight line here. So from here, oh, pencil tool. From here to here. All right. So that's falling out of the bed. Interlocked, interlocked. So that's under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. All right. So those are all interlocked. All right. I think that looks right. Let's go see what you guys have been having to say. Any comments, questions, smacks to the back of the heads. Lots of numbers there. That's cool. Let's say, is the Bigfoot target on your website the larger or the small? Jack, these are all scalable. You can make it as big as you want. The file size is, as far as when you download it, is really irrelevant because you can scale it to whatever size you want it to be. This I was able, I think I've got it when you download the file from hobowithwood.com. This entire piece, I think, yes, it can. This entire design can be cut out of a single piece of 12 by 12 material. But if you want it to be bigger, if you want it to be this size, it can be. You just have to scale it up. Now, that brings up a funny result. And I think I got the picture here. No, I think I deleted it. This piece here, you could do it this size, but then it would be 1, 2, 3, and then plus your base. You're going to use 4 sheets of 12 by 12 material if you're going to make it nearly 12 inches tall. So now you have just quadrupled the cost of your piece if you're going to be selling it. And where are you going to display this if it's yours? Now, if you're making it for yourself and you want to put it on your mantle or whatever, hey, that's fine. But if you're going to be selling it, if you're going to a fair and you're going to be selling the items, this piece is going to have less of a draw because people are going to be like, one, they don't want to carry it. They don't want to have, if they're walking around a fair somewhere, they don't want to be carrying it around for an hour or have to leave, go put it in their car. But this is small enough that it's going to go anywhere. Put it on the coffee table or on your desk. But here you're limited on where it's going to go. You've quadrupled your cost. But the funny story about scaling these projects, if you look Bigfoot, I've got, in fact, on all of the crosshairs, I tried to put the crosshair in the center mass. Tried to make it a heart shot on all of them. And I showed people how to scale this up, but somebody didn't pay attention because they scaled it up, but they scaled up each piece individually. And then he contacted me in an email and said, hey, man, your aim's off on Bigfoot a little bit. And I said, what are you talking about? How's my aim off? What are you talking about? He said, look at it again. I went and looked at it. I said, what are you talking about? I said, send me a picture. And he sent me a picture from where he blew it up. And because he scaled the image, he scaled the crosshairs, then he scaled Bigfoot, then he scaled the mountains and the trees. And because he scaled them individually, Bigfoot was much larger than it should be. And the crosshairs on his had the shot going right in the groin. That would have been a bad day for Bigfoot. I said, no, that wasn't my screw up. That was on you. When you scale these designs up, you grab the entire design and you scale it at once. So this piece right now, when you download the file, it is all laid out on a 12 by 12 piece of material. But if you want the crosshairs to be 12 inches, then you're going to select the entire thing and draw out that entire thing until the crosshairs get to be the size you want it to be. then the rest of it will have scaled with it and will be of the right proportions. Don't try to scale it individual, scale it all at once. And you can make this as big as you want. If you wanted to make it, 2 foot and you had a laser or a CNC that you could do that with, I put the DXF files in there. I think it's DXF that used with the CNC. If you had a 4x, you could put your 48-inch piece out on a CNC, you could CNC this out. It's totally scalable. Size is totally up to you when you put it out there. So what's Bob saying here? Bigfoot is on Hobo's website, and his files are smaller files that you can enlarge to your needs. There you go. So yeah, you can. They're totally scalable. That is tonight up to 9 overall, 3 days. I'm not following that. That is tonight up to 9 overall, 3 days. I don't know. Don't follow that one, Carl. Looking great. You can add key hooks. Yeah. And make it a key holder. Yeah, you could. You hang your keys on the, you'd probably want to actually secure it to the door, top of the door frame, so that the weight of the keys don't want to pull it off. But yeah, yep. Thank you for the clear instructions. Hey, you think my instructions are clear? Because it's clear as mud up here most of the time. Beware of the wood thickness and the hole it goes into. If you're talking about when you scale it up, when you scale up the file, you're going to have to adjust the slots and the tabs once you scale it to your desired size. But you're going to have to adjust your slots and tabs regardless. When you open the file, that's one of the first things you're going to want to do is check your material thickness and adjust those slots and tabs accordingly. And if you scale it up, yes, you're going to go right back and do the same thing again. But adjust your slots and tabs after scaling, not before. You have to change to slot. You have to change the slot in the base piece when you scale. Yes, exactly. Yep. Hey, Jack. If you're just showing up, this was an early live stream, just trying to appeal to folks in different time zones, reaching out to the folks across the pond who don't normally get to see me when I'm so late. And clear as Mississippi mud. That's me sometimes. I tell you, we get there. Is it okay if I watch? I live next to Lake Michigan, so it's a pond. Yes. You got a few people here in the stream that are all up there around Lake Michigan and Lake Ontario. There's a few of you here tonight. Yeah, everybody's welcome, of course. But this was just trying to make it easier for other folks to be around. In fact, here we are at an hour 49. I didn't have a plan. This was something that Stacy, I wish I could remember the rest of her name, but Stacy brought this file up and reminded me in the last live stream. And I said, I need to fix that. And so I said, I need to fix the file. I might as well just go online and figure it out and do it for you over here. And then I'll share the file with those who joined me in the live stream. Okay. And there are probably a few people that might argue with you on that one, Jack. Just a few. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go back over here to Lightburn, see where we're at. Auto switch. All right. So, I don't know what happened to this truck, this design. I think some of the things may have gotten edited. I don't know what that was. Some things got changed on this file. And I'm going to fix that now. There's more details on this truck than there are that truck. Well, not really more. They're only just the two lines instead of the one. So, in fact, uh, I'll just come down here and move that up a wee bit. Control D, duplicate it, and move it down a wee bit. And I think I'm going to like that. I think. All right. So I'm not going to need this after all. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to keep my fenders. And actually, you know what? I better check something. Undo. Let's put that truck back. Control Z, bring you back. Because what I just now realized, because these trucks are slightly different, I better make sure, and I just missed something. Undo. Get all of that. Now, wait a minute. What you doing to me? What's going on here? Why aren't you going with me? Oh, you know what? That's because I grouped all of that earlier. That's grouped with the stake bed. So ungroup it. Way to go, stupid. All right, now we go. What I just realized is because these trucks are different, these fenders are part of this truck and they probably ain't going to fit this truck. So let's check. This is the left front fender. Ungroup them. Control D, duplicate that. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that ain't going to work. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a new. I'm going to, because these aren't going to work. I'm going to get rid of these fenders, and I didn't need all four of them anyway. But I'm going to take this fender and I'm going to actually, what I can do is I don't need that line here. This would be normally an engraved line, but I'm going to change it to a cut line and then just drag it over here. That'll cut out that piece perfect, and I'll put it, glue it on top of there. That'll give the 3 dimensions of that fender. And same thing back here. Just put it on a cut line. And bring it over here. That wasn't so hard. Boy, that was easy. All right. So there it gives me my my 2 fenders. I've got my 2 slots there for my hood, my door handle, and I've got these on different layers because I went with different speeds and powers to create different looks whenever it was engraving. This I probably don't need right there. Let's take a look. Let's put that fender back. Yeah, that goes there. So I definitely don't need that little square engraved there. But I do want to have it on my fender. So let's get the fender in the proper place, because that's actually the illusion of the bumper, if you will. So I'm going to glue the fender on right about there. So I'm going to select that. I don't know if I'm going to like that look when I'm done or not, but I'm going to group it to that fender and engrave it in the fender and then glue it on. I may or may, that may end up going away completely, but I don't know. It's not on here. In fact, let's see. Switch. here's the actual 3D truck. And I did not include it on there at all. And I don't know if it's missing. Does it need to be there? What do you think, guys? Should I put that should I leave that little oval there to create the illusion of the bumper sticking out on the, but that's on the top of the fender, and actually the bumper wouldn't go out over the, oh, I know what. I know. I'm going to do this. Ha ha ha. I'm going to bring this back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. Let's put this back where it needs to go. Put it right about there. And I'm going to move this. We're going to ungroup it. Ungroup. I'm going to move this out here. About there. Now I'm going to select this. I'm going to node editing. Why am I not going? There we go. Nodes. There we go. And I'm going to select all of these right here and delete them. I want to give it a little bit of a curve, about like that. We're going to clean up some of these. These don't need to be there. Delete you. And then I'm going to go to this one, go to node editing. It's in a group, so let's ungroup it so we can see the nodes. Now I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to bring them out a little bit. Let's clean this up a little bit like that. And we'll get rid of these and clean this up like that. Let's insert one here. And got a lot to clean up right there. I don't like that corner. So let's hit the letter S for smooth. There we go. That smoothed it out. And all right, let's see what that's going to look like. Because the fender, the fender would not wrap out past the bumper. The bumper would come. I think I'm going to like that better. I'm going to bring that up just a wee bit. And back a wee bit. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. So I'm going to grab that, bring that over here. So those will be cut out individually and glued on top. These are hubcaps. And those are going to be glued inside of here because these, select and select. Come on, get you. There you go. These are going to be cut out separate. And glued on top. Okay. I could actually, let's try this. Let's group those. And let's group one of these. Duplicate it for right now. And then put it in the center of this one. Oh, you know what? I know why I did that now. Because what I was just thinking is I could actually just cut out the tire engrave the tire, leaving this in there, and then, but this is, and you could do that and it'd be a whole lot quicker and a whole lot simpler, but it doesn't give me the detail that I'm looking for. Because if you look at my hubcap, see my hubcap is red, got the red line in the middle there with the silver hubcap. And I've got, I've just noticed I got lugs on those tires. You see my tread? I got tread on these, and I don't have tread on the others. I'm gonna need to put some tread on there. All right. But the way I got this two-tone with the hubcap is by cutting out the hubcaps separate. I was able to take a piece of wood. In fact, with the hubcaps, it's just done on a piece of scrap. Took my scrap, painted it red. Good heavy coat of red. Let it dry. Then painted it silver. And then when I cut out, that red is actually an engraved line that just burns away just enough of the silver paint to expose the red underneath, and then cut out the hubcap to glue it in the middle of the tire. And I could not achieve the black tire, the silver hubcap, and the red ring if I tried to do all that in one piece. And that's why I did it in multiple pieces. If you get this file for free and you decide you want to not go with that and just do it all, you can just put the hubcap in the bullseye of the tire and cut out one and be done with it and not have to worry about painting it. But that's how I achieved that detail. Let's get the comments. Oh, I missed a sticker there. Hey, thank you, Scott. Thank you. I need to scroll back up. I missed a bunch here. Okay. All right. I've seen Sparky's clear as Mississippi mud. So, and yes, it was okay for you to watch. And yes, not everybody needs to see Hobo. And I can give you a list of ladies' names. They'll disagree with you. Let's see. Hey, yeah, the likes, yeah, that helps too with the analytics, folks. The 1, 2, 3, and 4, that helps. That might even help as much or more than the likes. But it's all about if you need help at YouTube with anything going on, there ain't nobody. You can't hardly get a hold of nobody. It's all done by computers. Every bit of it's done by computers. There's one person sitting somewhere over there, probably, and they're probably on a beach somewhere counting all their money because their computers are running the show and they're not having to worry about it. But it looks at the likes, it looks at the comments, it looks at all these things, and that's how it pushes out the videos. So those things help. Let's see. Dale says he's purchased a couple of files and they are the best. So please support Hobo with wood. Please support Hobo with it. And I make this comment on my files, and you're watching me design this one. And really, folks, tell you what I'm going to do, because I don't like to put any file out there that I haven't tested yet. I made that mistake with one of the ones I created on the live stream, and it turned out it didn't work. I was overconfident. Thinking that I was going to get it right the first time. This one is one that I'm modifying, and so there's not quite as much of a chance of screwing it up because it's already a file that worked. I'm just making some cosmetic stuff changes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this file, and then I will cut this file out and create a finished working piece. And then I will put it on Hobo with wood. And it's already 6:40 my time, so it's already really late for you guys across the pond if you're still with us. I'm going to get this done and finished. And once I get it done and finished and put it on hobowithwood.com, it will be a tested and tried file, because that's what I try to do with my files. One, they're designed in Lightburn. So if you're a laser cutter and you're designing and working in Lightburn, when you get my files, you know that they're going to work with Lightburn because they were designed in Lightburn. And if you look on hobowithwood.com and look at all the different files that I have for sale, I do not put graphics up there showing the design. I put finished product up there showing what the project will create. I do that so that you can see that I've already tried it. It works. I know it works. And there's the photographic proof that it works. And also, it gives me the confidence to say that I know it works and I promise it's going to work. And if you have a problem, let me know. I'll help you figure it out. But it works because I've done it. So I'm not going to put this one up immediately after it's finished because I don't want to be making the same mistake I did where I was so overconfident in my abilities. But I will put this, I'm going to finish it, put it up, and I'll make it free for you guys who are watching tonight because I'm not going to put this on a replay. It'll be available for people to go in and go to the live button and look at it. And so they'll know about it too. But I'm not going to put it in the download or the content as a replay. So only a handful of you are going to see this initially, and you'll know it's out there for free. And I'll leave it free for 24 hours. And my plan is to finish it, obviously, tonight. I won't worry about getting a painted piece done, but I really want to have a painted piece done to put on the website. I probably will. I'll have this up within 24 hours on the website, and it will be totally free along with the heart compass. Plenty of time for Valentine's Day. But let's see. Let's get back over here to the comments. Bob's World. I am a regular, Steve. Robert. Hey, Robert. But thanks for appealing to our friends in the UK and Europe. Yeah, I'm trying to be all inclusive, and I even tried to refrain from doing too many projects that were strictly USA. I am a proud American. Can't say that I'm proud of what they're doing all the time, but I try to be inclusive with my files so that I don't pigeonhole myself or knock myself out of anything. So I try to be inclusive to everybody. Needs axle hubs. Well, if you're thinking like, well, these are, and if you don't know, I'm a retired ASE mechanic. I used to own a retail tire store, and I know tires and wheels. That's I grew up. I used to make the joke because the tire store that I ran, my dad started it in 1979, and he was a manager at a tire store as I was when he and my mom got together. So I even joke about, I was probably conceived in a tire store. But on this particular truck, the silver hubcaps, they actually would have snapped over the center hubs and lug nuts and covered all that up. You wouldn't see any hubs or lugs with this particular hubcap style. Now, if I wanted to make it a four-wheel drive, like those kind of like the luggy tires I had on there, I could put another little hole in the center so that the locking hub would stick out for the front ones, but you wouldn't typically see any hubs in the rear. But this is a two-wheel drive truck. It's two-wheel drive. It's not four-wheel drive. So we don't see any hubs. No hubs. Because we got hub caps. Hence, hub caps covering the hubs. Mentioned the door handle. And the door handle's there. It's just on a different layer. And that may or may not stay that way. We'll see. My mama always said life's like a box of chocolate. Oh, okay. Clarification. My total count over the last 3 streams is now up to 9. Okay. You learned up to 9 new things there. Okay. Dale saying put Hobo on the Hobo with wood with raised white letters on the tires. Yeah, raised white letter tires, Hobo with wood. Yeah, and I try to uh like on all the products that I make, like well, this one I didn't. Ah, get it on this one. Come on, baby. Yeah. So like this was my Amazing Grace cross that I did with the that's the gold metallic craft paper. But on the bottom, I got my logo on there. Hobo with wood, made in Gastonia. But for the designs I'm going to be selling, and guys, I encourage you to buy my designs, make 100 of them, go to the craft shows, sell them for $10 a piece, and make you $1,000. And then remember Hobo and say, "Hey, man, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have $1,000. Here's your little something something." I do not require that. Obviously, I don't discourage you from using the files to go make money. That's you bought the file from me, go improve it, go make it better, and sell as many of them as you can. And then if you do get rich and become a multimillionaire off of my $3 file you bought, then you might say, "Oh, you know what? I probably need to adopt a Hobo." And that option is on the top of the web page, Hobo with Wood. Adopt a Hobo. Are you going to share the moonshine tonight? Yeah, I'm not getting the moonshine out. It's there, and I'm getting close to having that project finished. Very, very close, and I'm really looking forward to unveiling that. And I do have my own moonshine in the fridge now. I'm making up my own special flavor. And it's either going to be really good or really bad. Because I haven't done this one before. We'll see. Can we get this file for free? Yes, this file is going to be for free. I would like to do some change. I would like to do some change suggestions on it. Yeah, this is it's going to be a free file. Once I get it done, and I'm practically there, I'm going to, but before I make it free and give it to you, I'm going to make one and have a working proof positive prototype that I know everything's going to work without a problem. And then, yes, you're going to get it for free, and it'll be free for 24 hours on the website. And the plan is, it's already going on 7:00 my time. I plan to have it available and online and for free before this time tomorrow. Within the next 12 to 18 hours, I'll have it on the website, and it'll be listed there. And some of the folks are telling me they're having a hard time. They're not, that when they go to hobowithwood.com, when they go to the homepage, they're not seeing the most recent files populate on the homepage. Go to the digital files and then go to the sort and sort by most recent. And then that's going to bring up your most populars. There's something going on with some of y'all's browsers, because 98% of the people are not having a problem, but a handful are. And that ain't on me. And that's getting into stuff that I don't know nothing about. Because if it works for 98% of the people and 2% of you are not working, then it's either something going on with the settings in your computer, your firewall, something. I don't know. But that's not on me or my website when 98% of the people are seeing it. But yes, this file is going to be free. And make all the changes you want to it. Make it personalized. Do whatever. Have fun with it. And Beauty said this is going to be a must rewatch. And you're welcome to do that. I'm not going to post it as a replay. So it's going to be the 80 some odd viewers that have been chiming in and watching this on and off that know about this file and know that it's going to be on the hobowithwood.com, and it will be free for 24 hours after I publish it. So this is going to be our little secret. 6:40 in Holland on Lake Michigan. Holland and Lake Michigan. Okay. I didn't realize we had a Holland on Lake Michigan. Sounds good. I love your files. I was just binge watching yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to be doing more and more and more and more of this. And I don't know if you've seen the last video I just dropped today before going live. This is going to be what you can expect more from Hobo with Wood this year. I don't know about doing this 4 o'clock in the afternoon, middle of the week, or early at first of the week live stream. This was an experiment, as I said, just reaching out to the folks in UK, Portugal, and so they can see a little bit of me live at a reasonable hour. I remember having to get out and turning the front. Yes. Yep. Yep. I grew up locking the hubs, buddy. Learning loads in the UK. Many thanks. Thank you for being here, Martin. I appreciate you. I really do. Yeah, well, if you're dating yourself and saying you're old because you lock the hubs, I'm there with you. But here's a challenge for you. Did you ever have to lock your hubs and jump in the truck driving a 3 on the tree? 3 on the tree with locking hubs. Did you have that much fun? Do you go back that far? Yes, Ed, Gastonia is the redneck capital of the world. Gotta love it. No, you don't. Let's see, Miss what? And if you become a go, oh yeah, not anything about that, Chicago Bob, because I have not put up any banners down there. I've not asked. There have been several super thanks tonight that were totally unsolicited, and I greatly appreciate every single one of them. But Bob brings up a very important thing. If you guys would consider going over to patreon.com/hobowithwood, it's $20 a month. But for $20 a month, you're going to have access to all of my files for free, always. You get a coupon code that's good for 100% off on every single digital file on Hobo with Wood. And I'm going to be also doing more with my patrons. They see files and videos that I don't put on YouTube, and I share files with them that I don't even put on hobowithwood.com. So they see even more and have more for their $20 a month. And it's not just, there's gold, silver, and bronze. It's $29 and $3. $3, the bronze gets 60% off the files. $9 silvers get 80% off the files, and gold gets 100% off the files. If you like building stuff and you want quality Lightburn ready files, designed in Lightburn, used in Lightburn, tested in Lightburn, not somebody who's having because I don't know if I don't know how to do it and don't want to know how to do it, because the joy for me is the designing. But you can use AI now, apparently, the artificial intelligence, to actually go out and create these files for you. And so people who are really computer savvy can use this AI to say, hey, create me a 3-layer file that is got a this and a that, and it's got to be laser cut friendly, and I want it in a SVG format, and it'll spit it out for you. They don't even test it. They put the file out there and sell it to you for $3 or $2. And then you have nothing but problems out of it because it's not Lightburn friendly. It's not going to work, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. You'll never have that problem with my files. Ever, 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 ever. And when you do, it's because you might be struggling with something to do with your settings or your laser. It's not going to be because of the file, but I will work with you to try and get you past those hurdles. But the file is going to be tried, tested, and put through the fire. I know it works. And for storing on your browser, you might need to clear the cache, especially if you have limit scripts on your website. I don't know if I have limit scripts on my website or not, but I've even told people that, what Shift F5, and if it's Mac or PC, or if it's just F5, but people have tried that and still say they not seeing everything. I do need to, but like I said, it's only 2%, a handful of people is having a problem. So I don't think it's something on my website, or else much more people would be having the problem. I think it's something to do with privacy and settings and firewalls and protections. Can Can you make it available only to the people on the channel today? Nah, no, not really. As far, if you're, can I make it available today? I could make it available today, but I don't know if it's going to work, and I hate that. And then it have to go back and say, all right, delete that and wait, get this one. But as far as making it available to only the people that are here right now, they're the only ones that's going to even know it's here. Nobody else is even going to know that it's out there unless they just happen to go to Hobo with Wood out of the clear blue and see it and say, oh, wow, okay, yeah, well, then it's fine because there's only going to be a handful. I'm not going to publicize this or make it advertise it in any way until after the free period's gone. So, but typically though, even though those that go over and they grab the one that's free, they're like, oh, wow, okay, that's free. But hey, look, that's really cool too. I'll get that. And they'll end up buying something while they're there. So, Andy says, yep, I had a 68 Bronco with a 3 in a tree and locking hubs. There you go. I wasn't a Ford man. Mine was a, was it 67 maybe? I think it might have been 67 or mid, or no, maybe it's a 65. It was a Chevy stepside C10. 3 on a tree, 4-wheel drive, locking hubs. Yeah, boy. That 3 on the tree hang up and you have to get out there, pop the hood and aggravate with the linkage to get it to go into gear. Yeah. I go back with 4-wheel drive. I go back before 4-wheel drive was available. Okay. Yeah, Alan's saying it's already pushing midnight there. So, and I did this for Alan and his neighbors tonight. So it's getting late for them. And I think I'm going to go over here back to Lightburn. We'll scroll down here and look for any of the, young ones are wondering what 3 on the tree means. Yeah, well, they can Google it. Bob said, gold patron is the way to go. I find it absolutely the best deal ever. It really is. It is a no-brainer. I was actually extremely hesitant to start a Patreon page because I had nothing to offer. I mean, I was like, when I first started, I was like, why would you want to be a patron? I don't, but thank God there were, and thank God I've got some now. But now, and for those who've been with me for a while, they've been truly a godsend because they were what have kept this channel going. But if you sign up as a patron tonight, a $20 patron, and go to hobowithwood.com, and it'll take me usually within 24 hours, I'll get you your coupon code. But I think there's over 100 files on hobowithwood.com right now that you can go and download for free for $20. I don't know any better deal you're going to find than that. Now, not every file there is going to appeal to you, but more than a handful will. And to get all that for $20, and I'm going to be adding more and more and more and more at a much greater pace than I did last year. So it's only going to be getting much larger. It's a no-brainer of a deal. So I've gone from being hesitant to having one to saying, if you're buying files, you're silly not to be one. I'm going to get through these questions and comments real quick. Yep. All right. Yeah, Bob's just said, yeah, currently over 100 files for free. Question from Chicago. Did you build the website? Yes. Can't you tell? And I tell you, I had to, move the hosting. It was being hosted by DreamHost, and I was having problems. So the same company local that used to host my tire store, I had them take over the hosting, and they looked at it and they're like, really? I said, I know it's basic, but the majority of the people that are going to my website and buying my files, not the majority, but a large number of them, struggle with technology. And I can sometimes question myself, why are they even bothering with lasers if they're struggling with the website? So I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible so that people don't get lost or get confused. But I'm entertaining. You know what? It might be time to revamp it and pay them to do a nice website. But yeah, I did that. I did that, and it should be obvious because I don't know what I'm doing. Dale, are they the same files as you sell? Are they the same files as you sell? The free ones? Yes. Is there the only difference is you get a coupon. You go to the website and if you want to buy all 100 of them, you can and spend a couple $100 or more, or you sign up, become a paid gold patron, and you get 100% off coupon. You're putting the same files in your folder or in your cart, and then when you go to check out, you've got a coupon code that just zero, done. You get them. It's the same files. There's no difference. If that's your question. Okay. Okay. All right. Everybody talking about the cars. Okay. We'll go back over here to Lightburn and take a look. I think we've got this finished up. Because I'm not going to do that. So let's undo that and undo that duplication. Okay. That's back to where it should be. So I've got my tires, I've got my fenders, I've got my hubcaps, my wheel covers. Oh, there's the tires with the knobs on them. But I bet you those tires are not going to fit in these wheel covers because these were the tires for that truck. But you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab this tire because I know that tire fits that. I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to put it on toolpath. And then I'm going to come down here and tell it to go to the center of that. So there is the size that fits that truck up above. So I'm going to select this one and this one. And right now I'll group it, group, and start shrinking it down until it fits in there like that. So now I have my knobby tire. And I'm going to make sure that my hubcap fits by ungrouping that now. Select that, delete that, and I'm going to come up here to this one, ungroup it, grab the center one, because that's what. Or is it? I need to know because these hubcaps were for these tires, not for those tires. So let's undo that. There we go. Now I'm going to grab these one of these hubcaps. Is it grouped? Yes, it's grouped. Center it over that. Yeah, because see that it's just a little bit smaller so it fits inside. All right, so now with that done, I'm going to select all of that, then hold my control button and deselect the toolpath. And now hold my shift button and not shift, undo. Come on, stupid. Hold my control button and shrink that down to inside that, like that. Now that's going to be small enough, and I'm going to go just a little bit smaller so I can make sure I got plenty of room, but not a lot, just a little bit. There. So now I can select that hubcap. It's grouped together, bring it over here. These tires I don't need anymore. These hubcaps and wheel covers I don't. And see, this is why this is why I would not want to put this out to you yet for free, because I thought I was done, but no, I could have released that a minute ago and hubcaps and tires wouldn't fit. So, but now I caught that, we fixed it, and but there might be something else that I didn't think of, I didn't catch, and that I don't see until I cut it out. So before I release this, even for a free file, I want to know that it's going to work. So I've got the right hubcap size now. I've got the right tire size now. Come on. There and there, and group those back together. I'm on, stupid. There we go. So all that can go away. That toolpath can go away. The fenders are right. The tires and hubcaps are right. Now I can get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. All right. Now, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you just for the heck of it. For the 80 of you still here, a few of you were late getting here. This might be fun for you to watch. We'll bring those tires back. Where that? There they are. All right. Now I'll get rid of these. Get rid of that. I got to get that tire out of there. Group you back together and move you up here. And get rid of these. All right. Just for giggles, this was the original tire. And that don't look much like a tire there, do it? No, that don't look like a tire. But that does. And I see a question mark over here. So let me see what the question is before I go too much further. Question, Craig. You centered too fast. I missed it. Can you go over that again? I never used it. I just center vertical. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. And don't forget to hit the like button. I like this. Yep. All right. So what Craig was saying there, right now, these are groups. So I'm going to ungroup them. And then I'm going to grab this inner one and I'll move it over here. Or that's the outer. So what Craig was doing, he said to get his centered, I guess he was doing, I don't know if you were doing Alt-Shift-V and Alt-Shift-H. What did you say? I just centered vertical and horizontal. So I guess you were doing that, horizontal and then vertical. Is that what you're normally doing? Well, another way. Oh, switch camera. There, thank you. There. All right, so you didn't miss nothing because I was screwing it up anyway. So Craig was saying that he wanted to see that shortcut about the centering. And what he was doing was centering vertical and horizontal. And you can do that a couple of different ways. Alt-Shift-V and no, that didn't work. And Alt-Shift-H, that didn't work. That didn't center them. So you can do it this way where you center them that way and then that way, and that would work. And maybe that's what he was doing. But what I did, Craig, was if you just select both of them and then bullseye it right here. That bullseye is, if you hover over it and wait, it says, what does it say? Align? Yeah, align both vertical and horizontal centers. So that bullseye, that target and bullseye will center whatever you've got grouped up. Now, here's the problem, not a problem, but what you have to be aware of. If I grab both of these and group them, and then that center, those are individual pieces. And if that was part of this and they're grouped, and you grabbed, let me move these out of my way. You grabbed all of these and tell it to go to center. Well, because this one is grouped with that fender, then this piece is that whole size there. So that went to the center of that group instead of centering up with a tire. So you have, pay attention to that. But that's a quick, easy way to center stuff. You wanted to center both of those over each other. Just bullseye it. Done. And how does it determine which one goes on top? Well, if those are the same layer, it doesn't really matter. And if they were on different layers, it's going to determine by the priority over here in your cuts and layers. So like right now, my priority over here, the double alt layer or the black layer is at the very bottom. And think of your cuts and layers as a stack of pancakes, but it's inverted. So while this is up here at the top, if it was a stack of pancakes, it would be the pancake on the bottom. So if I grab this one and put it on the double alt layer and put it in fill mode so you can see it, and then I select both of these, because this layer is on the very top of the pancakes. It's at the bottom of the list. When I bullseye it, that's the one that's going to be on top. That's the one you're going to see. Now, if it was inverted, undo. Well, we'll just move this down. We'll put this on the bottom layer, the bottom of the pile. So now the black layer is on top of the blue. And my dog's starting to bark at me, I'm going to have to let her outside. If I bullseye that now, you don't see the blue layer anymore because both of them are in fill mode and the black layer is on top of the blue layer. But if I change the priority and just drop that down, now you can see it. But which one goes on top is determined by the priority over here in your cuts and layer settings. But let's get rid of all that there and put that back in line mode. Okay. So we got that done. But now what I wanted to show you was how to put lugs on a tire. I've got 87 of you still here. I'm sure that most of the UK guys have probably already gone to bed. My dog's starting to huff and puff at me. I'm going to need to open the front door and let her go out. Chris is here from down under. Hey, buddy. If you guys want to see how I created, I'm going to put this up here beside of it, and then I'm going to switch cameras so you can see it. If you want to see how I created these lugs on this tire from this tire, hang around for a second, but I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a little while. We've been here for 2.5 hours. I have been. Some of you have just gotten here. Some of you have done tuned in and went to bed. But I'm going to do a quick intermission. I'm coming. My dog is getting impatient. And what have I got here? See, go to brand. All right, I've got a 1 minute and 51 second intermission. I'm going to run that real quick. Go let the dog out. So if you need to go run, grab a drink, go take a pee-pee potty break, whatever, go do that, because I don't know if I'll be back in the minute and 50 seconds. That she sometimes she's fast and sometimes she takes her time because she's a princess. So I'm going to take a quick intermission, let the dog out. I'll be right back and we'll do some lugs on the tire. So 86 of you here now. We'll see how many are still here when I get back.
Candlelight and moonlight all around us. I look into your eyes. You hold my hand underneath the table, and I can't disguise the way I feel. I could have wished 1,000 wishes for this night. I can't believe that it's finally me and you and me, just us and your friend Steve. Do Steve. Do leave. What's the deal with your friend Steve? Oh hey, how's it going? You took me out for waffles and to the movies. I was hoping for romance. You even took me to the Mexican circus. I thought there was a chance we'd be alone. I could have wished 1,000 wishes for Steve to disappear. Why is he always here? Do Steve. Do go away. What's the deal with your friend Steve? Oh hey, how's it going? It's not that I don't like your friend, but how many hours with him can you spend? And it's not that I don't think he's great, but it's only you. Only you I wanna fillet. Are you gay for Steve? I think you may be, and that would be alright. But let a bitch know just what your steez is, so I know if I should shave tonight. I could have wished 1,000 wishes, 'cause I like to be with you. But if it's always me and you and your friend Steve, there's nothing I can Do, Steve. Do. Why don't you just go be with your best friend, Steve?
Okay. We lost a few, not many. So we're back. She's happy. I'm gonna throw her a treat. There you go. Okay. Now, wow, 14 comments while I was gone. Let's see here. I'll wait. Good day. All right. Yeah. I haven't finished the project, and we've been learning things along the way, Dwight. So as long as people are in here, hey, I'll keep going. But once I finish this redesign, I'm going to be done for the stream, and I'm going to go cut it out, paint it, fix it, get it up, get it done. And recapping for those who have joined us and have missed what's going on, I started the stream early today to appeal to those in UK and that part of the world in the different time zones. And what I'm going to be doing this year is, as I'm designing, I'm probably going to be doing it in streams like this. People can learn, and they can learn to do it themselves, not even have to go buy the files. They'll see and know how to do it and not have to go to hobowithwood.com and buy it. Or they can see the amount of work that I put into designing these pieces and realize, you know what? $5 ain't that much money, or $10, whatever it is that, considering whatever the file is, because I put a lot of work and thought and process into my design processes. Sometimes it might be more work than required because I went around my elbow to get to my, but hey. But tonight, this file is a door hanger, and it's an old farm truck. It's this farm truck, but it's going to be single-sided, and it's got a bunch of hearts in the bed, and the hearts are falling out and dripping down the side, so you hang it on the corner of your door frame. And for those who have seen this live stream, they are aware that the file will be completed and on the website, hobowithwood.com. And they will, once I put it on the website, and I plan to put it on there within the next 12 to 14 hours. And once I post it up on there, it'll be free for 24 hours. And only the people who have seen this live stream are going to even know about it, because I'm not going to promote it anywhere else. And you'll have the opportunity to go and get it and download it for free. It'll be there for 24 hours, and you can go grab it. People who will start to watch the replay, that see this replay 3, 4, 5 days later, sorry, guys, you missed out. You should have been here for the live stream. As I do more and more of this, more designs, more live streams, there'll be more free files for those who tune in and watch. They can learn some ideas and how to work and design in Lightburn, and maybe make their own, or say, hey, yes, I'm going to get that file. You'll get it for free, or they don't mind buying it because they've seen the work that went into it and they didn't get here in time to get it for free. But I'm going to show you this tire, and then we're going to get out of here. Unless you've got more questions. Let's see. Let me go through these real quick. Yeah. I love those girls. I love them. I think they're hilarious. I loved them on Big Bang Theory, and I just love them, and I love watching them in anything they're in. But when I heard that song, I was like, yeah. In fact, in order for me to even have that song in the streams, I have to pay them. But it was worth it. It's worth it. I'm like, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, she's extremely good. She'll sit over there and never make a sound, but when she needs to go, she'll get up and she'll even bark at me, just a little huff, just to get my attention. And when her eyes go crossed, then you hear her and you know it's now or else. But she's the sweetest pup ever. Yeah, more channels need breaks. Yeah, I just wish that it was a little bit longer. That minute, it's a minute and 50. And I had to edit that a little bit because there's one or two foul words in that song if you listen to it in its entirety. But I edited it out because I didn't want that. I didn't want it, and I didn't want it to be flagged by YouTube. But but yeah, have a little break. Go run, grab a drink, go to the bathroom. Yeah, Ed's a local, folks. He's not even across the pond. There's a pond down there near him. I used to live on that pond, but he's a local as well as Jack. And I've been talking about Jack's here in the shop. Jack's local. There's another, and I haven't seen David here. There's no, I know of at least 5 or 6 of us now here in Gaston County, Redneck Central. We do need to maybe form a little group and maybe go up to Taxco and get some Mexican or meet at Tony's Ice Cream for breakfast. And but yeah, we need to maybe get a monthly get together and exchange ideas, talk, just hey, brag, show off stuff, do whatever. And 2 more coins and 4 slate coasters. You got more to make? Yep. At first, your song selection. Oh, well, if you thought what the H was bad, then you're probably really glad that I edited it. And Steve's asking where is his treat? Right here. Come get it, buddy. And I said that T word too loud. Now she's over here looking at me. Shame on you. All right. Design time is the hardest to explain to customers. It really is. People, and you know what? What really just gets me, and this is why I don't do a lot of physical products. So I when I first started out, one of the local shop here, they sell upscale stuff. Really not, and they've got a ceramic dish. I think it's Nora something. It's just a plain white ceramic dish that's got a little bitty hole over here on the top of it that you can buy these little bitty pieces that will sit in the hole, and it can be for different seasons, different holidays. I forget what the designer's name is, but the plain white ceramic dish, they sell them for $36, and then they sell the little pieces that snap in them for like $10 a piece. So they're selling these ceramic dishes for $46 and $50. But then I start showing them some of my hardwood crosses and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I said, now this, I've got about $25 in material here. This is something that should probably retail for upwards of around $59 to $70. They're like, what? Yeah, and I said, and then the design time. Yeah, but once you've designed it, don't you? You just got to hit a button and cut it out. You've done the work. Well, yeah, I did, but you don't recoup all of your cost and design time off of one sale. Yeah, that's part of the cost. And she's hollering for treats. So yeah, if you're going to be doing your own design work and you're going to be designing and selling, that it's not a one-time deal. Factor that into your product forever. People just don't understand. People just don't understand. There, right there. There we go. There's the corner ADHD. Instead of ACDC, ADHD, and then it says highway to, ooh, look, squirrel. That's on hobowithwood.com. That's a great way to build your live stream audience. I guess you're referring to the free files for live stream people on the live stream. Yeah, I think so. Here's my RC. It's right here. It's close. I don't do moon pie. I don't do moon pies. I had that discussion in another live stream. I don't do marshmallows. And I don't even know if they even actually use marshmallows in them. Marshmallow flavored goo. No, thank you. Do you have a shipping address to receive items? I don't have anything that's published, or send me an email, and I'll put that in the links here. It's real simple. hobowithwood@gmail.com. Send me an email. What you're doing? I don't want to be receiving any body parts, any severed heads, or anything like that. Let me know what's up. Question from Andy: any way to send an email to your patrons an hour before you start? Well, Andy, this was an absolute spur of the moment. 10 minutes before I went live, I decided to do it. So it wouldn't have mattered. Because Andy, this was not something that I was doing to address you. Of course, you're welcome. But it was specifically started almost 3 hours ago to appeal to those in the UK. And they've already come and gone because it's already so late now. I planned on doing it at 3 o'clock, and then I didn't get to it until 4:30. So I'm probably going to be doing some more of these that are mid-afternoon for me to appeal to those over there. And then I'll be doing the Saturday night lives at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That is probably going to be a staple every Saturday night, 9 p.m. And maybe not even every other Saturday night, but every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be doing, a weekly recap. Like this upcoming Saturday, I'll probably, feature this and anything else that have accomplished this week. But this was totally spur of the moment, and it was initially marketed to, or promoted to, wasn't even marketed or promoted. The concept was for the UK viewers and anybody on that side of the world, because I figured anybody in here continental time, they're at work. They're at that time. Jack says he does not even talk about design time to customers. I start asking them who the gift is for and what it is, and it's for what occasion. Start talking about how it would make them feel, and then they pull out their wallet. Yep, what it's for. Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. Martin says ADHD door corner worth every penny. It's cute because it's I got it taped up there, but highway ADHD highway to look, a squirrel, and they got the squirrel running up the side of the door frame. But that one's real simple. Unlike this one, that one doesn't have a ledge that it sits on. It just sits there. This one is a little more complicated. People don't want to pay for knowing how to do things. I had the same problem as an electrician. Yep. I wish YouTubers could send out text messages when live. Better than email, maybe. And I'm not sure. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, number one, subscribe to hobowithwood.com. Then hit that bell for notifications. And what I'm going to be doing because this is new. If you didn't see the video that I dropped earlier today, not the live, but I made a new year, new hobo. It's only 10 minutes. It explains about what's going on and why I'm making these changes. And I'm going to try and figure out a schedule. Like right now, I'm almost sure Saturday 9 o'clock, unless I get a life. If I get a life, and then things might, Saturday at 9 p.m. may or may not be the best time, but I may have to adjust that. But right now, Saturday 9 p.m., I'll schedule it. And if you've hit that bell for notifications, you'll get and I think you can set your notifications about when you want to see that. But I have several notifications, like when Clack goes live, I get a notification that from his channel saying Clack will be live in an hour, but that may be in your settings for your notifications. So you may want to look at that, but you want to subscribe and hit that notification bell and then check your notification settings. And Saturday, 9 p.m. And then as I figure out something like this, if this is something that works out to where I do a midday stream that appeals to folks in different time zones, I may have a regular time slot for that too. I don't know. We'll see. But subscribe, notifications, and that'll help you. Chris says, I like the spur of the moment lives. Dave and Clack does a few, and I feel like a winner when I catch them. Yep. Alan says, hey, it's 12:30 and I'm still here. Can you send can I send you pictures of my custom design works to your email? Yes. Yep. Send me photographs of your work. I'm happy to look at them. I shared one. I'll share it again right now. If you didn't see it, you got to not minimize, make it smaller, and then move you. And I already did that. So go back to that, minimize that, and customer or viewer made projects. There we go. This, if you didn't catch Sunday's live stream, this is probably the best project I've seen. And Jeff was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here early or now or not, but this now and this is, and typically I don't do painted finished pieces whenever I do a project. I'm going to do that with my door trim piece here, but like this Bigfoot and the other crosshairs, I just cut them out and showed that they fit, they worked. But Jeff got this file, did a painted finished version of it, but he made one alteration, and it is the best thing. It's something so simple that I wished that I could say that this was my idea, but it wasn't. Are you ready? He put a UFO above Bigfoot. That is awesome. Of course, he's got it painted up and all, but putting that UFO switch, come on, putting that UFO up there was absolute genius. So I'm so glad he sent that to me. And I wish I could claim that, but that's not mine. So I love seeing what people do with the files to make them unique and make them their own. So yeah, send me pictures of what you got going on. If you're sending them to me now during the live stream, I don't check my emails. I won't see them until we're done because I get enough squirrels running through this brain as it is. Chris says, in IT, I used to tell them they're paying me for knowing where and how hard to hit the side of their computer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't, and that's even true in auto mechanics and stuff like that. Sometimes you don't pay for what I'm having to do. You're paying for what I know how to do what I do. I got notification as I was walking out of work through YouTube. Yeah, you have to hit that bell. You got to hit that bell. Let's see here. I hit the bell and the screen fell on the floor. Yeah, you don't physically hit that bell. All right, let's jump over here to Lightburn. We're going to put the knobs on this tire. Then I'm going to go make one of these and get it up on the website as quick as I can. So let's go over here to YouTube. Go back to Bigfoot. All right, go away. And get you back up here. All right, so I'm going to ungroup it. I'm going to put it on the red path so we can see it better. And there's something kind of funky about that. That's not a circle. That's got a hump in it. That tire's separated. That tire's lumpy. It's coming apart. So we're not even going to mess with that. We're just going to get rid of it. We're going to draw out a circle. And there's the hubcap. And actually, some of you, I'm sure Chris knows this, and a few of the other old timers or experienced guys know this, but some of you newbies don't know this. I've got a circle here, and I want to put a circle in the center of this circle. And if I move my cursor around, see right there, my cursor just turned to crosshairs. That's the center of that circle. Now, if I hold Control, let's see, got to get my circle tool first. There we go. Got my circle tool, get my crosshairs right there, and I hit Control and Shift and hold Control Shift and start drawing out my circle. It puts it right in the middle. Done. I don't have to go center it. It just created that circle in the center of that circle. Ain't that cool? All right. So now, how do I get these knobs on there? I want some knobbies. Well, if we look here, you can do just an offset, Robert, but offsets can sometimes do funky things. And an offset is a path and not a circle. So if you wanted to maintain a circle instead of having a path, there's different reasons you would do that. But it also works for squares, and it was the same thing. You could do an offset, but if you want to maintain a circle instead of a path, Shift, Control, and it puts it right in the center. So I've got two different shaped knobs here, or two different sizes. I've got the big knob and the little knob. And you see I've even got, they're rounded off a little bit. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. And I'm going to bring it up here to where it's just, the corners of it are just inside the circle. And then I'm going to put a radius on here. And 1.5, which the beta is out there and you can go get it, but I haven't done that yet because if it's still in beta, I don't want it. I want to wait till they feel like they've got it done. In the new 1.5, you can do adjustable sliding radiuses. You don't have to tell it what you want. You can just design it the way you want it to look. This one is about 1 millimeter tall, so I'm going to do about 1/4 millimeter there and there. And then I'm going to do another one. We'll rotate it a wee bit. And we'll put a little more space in it. And then I'm going to rotate it a wee bit more. There we go. And put the radius on that. And I'm going to grab both of those and group it. Now with that group, hold my Shift button and select my tire. Come down here to your circular array tool. And now you start creating copies until you fill up your void or fill up your tire the way you want it to look. And there we've got closer than we do here. So I'm going to back that up until about there. That looks like that's about right, and say okay. And another thing in 1.5, here after creating an array and you say okay, there's no option here that you can click to tell it to select the resulting objects. And the new 1.5 does. When you create an array, oh, I didn't mean to hit cancel. Go back. Circular array. I do that so many times it ain't funny. Put that back to where you wanted it. There we go. No, we'll go to 17 and say okay. Had I been able to select the option to select my resulting array when finished, then I'd have that already, but it doesn't do that now. 1.5 will. But if I select it all and then deselect my circle and that circle, now I can group that array and then weld it to that outer circle. And now I just got a knobby tire. And this one I did different. It was a little bit smaller and wasn't quite as big and bulky, but it's that quick and that easy to do a knobby tire. But we're done for that. And I'm pretty sure that this is done. I'll get rid of that toolpath. I'll get rid of that truck. I don't need it. I will grab this hubcap and I'm going to create an array. They don't need to shift by half. We'll put a little bit of spacing between them. That's good. Say okay. So there are my hubcaps. And my tire, Control D, duplicate it. There are my tires, my fenders. All right. I'm going to go cut that out. And this is in a fill mode. But if we look at it, that layer, I'm doing it in a crosshatch with a great big line interval. So that if we go look at the preview of that, oh, didn't want to do that. We'll just grab all of that. Still didn't get it all. There we go. Preview. That crosshatch is going to give me that checkerboard look. And whenever it's all painted up, that looks really neat for the stake bed. All right, so switch. I did it 2 times. There we go, 1 time. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go paint me some wood because I'm going to pre-paint the wood. I'm going to I'll paint the truck red, paint the tires black, paint the hubcaps in 2-tone red, and then cover it with silver, and then cut all that out. And I'm do you need to? Do you want to? Yeah, real quick, for you still here, 85 of you still here. This is simple, but maybe not to some of you. I told you about personalizing this. If you wanted to make, you're making this for your granddaughter or your sweetheart or your wife, whatever. If you want to go in here and put her name in here, or your name or an anniversary date or whatever, do you know how to do that? Does anybody here not know how to do that? If there's anybody here that doesn't know how to do that, we'll show you. But if everybody here knows how to do that, we'll call it a night and move on. You tell me. Because there's a lot of you guys that I see here that are regulars, and that welding in a name is elementary. You don't need to see it. If anybody needs to, we'll do it. If not, we're going to go on. We're going to call it a night. Okay. Yep. I don't see anybody hollering for it. All right. Guys, thanks for watching. And just for giggles, real quick. Oh, wait a minute. Valerie says I need it. All right. Well, I'm going to put this up here. these are ways that you can support this channel. Super thanks is always an option down at the bottom. I've got a PayPal account set up now, finally, where you can, they don't take any of the money. Finally, they've been dinging me for 1.5%, 2% up until recently. I got, and it's all in here in this long scroll, different ways that you can contribute. The PayPal.me/Hobo Laser. Yeah, right there. I actually get 100% of that money. Nobody takes any of the percentages out of it. I get 100% of the money through Zelle. And the Patreon, really, the gold tier Patreon, that's the best deal going. If you go over Hobo Wood, look at some of those files, and you see, oh wow, yeah, yeah, there's some. I'd like to have that. $20 a month, and you'll get 100% off all the files. So I'm gonna leave that running for a second while we go back over to Hobo, because Valerie said she wanted to see it. And what's Andy saying? If I put my sweetheart's names in there, my wife will get mad. You're like, yeah, you'll have that. All right. So good night from Denton. Just real quick, since one person mentioned it, and I'm that guy. I'll hang around. If everybody else wants to leave, good night. Me and Valerie are going to hang around here for just a second. So switch back. Keep hitting the wrong button. So I designed this with the thought that, okay, well, you can put it in any of these, but if you wanted to put it in this heart, it's got some good space, and this one here. But if you're going to do a name, you wouldn't use that font. You might use that one's too frail. I'll use brush. Craig, you're so smart. You're so smart, it ain't even funny. I got that song in my head. All right. I'm going to center it up. I'm going to do an offset. I'm not going to delete my original objects. I'm just going to do an outward offset. I'm going to do a round outward offset. And I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see it. I want to have this offset overlap that heart and that heart. Up here, you could weld it to that one if you wanted to, I guess. Don't know if I would or not. I'm not. We'll see how it looks without it. But that done there like that. We'll go, can I get a little smaller? Not quite that small. We'll go 2.5. There we go. That looks good. Say okay. Not deleting the original, but selecting the resulting objects. Now with that selected, hold my shift button and select that. Well, now see, yep. See, that comes down and goes up and around. So that's one piece. So if I hit my weld button, is that going to give me what I want? No, that don't give me what I want. So what you have to think when you're, and if you don't want to use your boolean assistant, you just have to think this through to begin with. So this piece is one piece that goes out and around through there. That's one solid cutout. And if you want that piece, but you want to subtract this offset, hold your shift key and select that offset. And this is your subtract button down here. That's subtract shape from another. And that's A subtract B. A is the first piece that you select. That's A. Hold your shift button. That's B. And subtract. and that welds that in there like that. And then you could put that on an engraved layer and engrave it in there, put it in a fill, and that would engrave in there nice. And the one thing that I will caution you, it is so much easier to do names like that if you just do a simple offset and then subtract the offset from the piece and then engrave the name. You run into problems when you start to cut the name out. When you want to cut the name out, well, the inner part of the A for Valerie, the inner part of the E's, and the L, all that's just going to fall away, and it's going to not be a complete name. It's just going to be a great big hole. You can get around that by modifying the text and create stencil type effects with the letters so that the pieces don't fall away. And I'll show you that real fast, but then we're going to get out of here. Because I'll stay here all night. I'll stay here all night because I don't have a life. But this is so much easier. Just to do the offset, cut that out, and then just do an engrave. But if you wanted to cut the name out instead of engrave it, this is what you got to look for. Right now, as it is, if this was a cut line, it's going to cut out that perimeter. There's really no need for it to cut out that inner part of the A, because when you cut this out, that's going to fall away anyway. In reality, you want it to stay. You don't want it to fall away. But there's nothing for that to hold on to. So what you have to do is create a stencil effect where you connect these inner pieces to the outer piece so they have something to hold on to. And you can do that by simply drawing a rectangle. You'll rotate that around a little bit so it kind of matches up a little ways, and kind of put that to where she's kind of lined up there, sort of. It needs to be a little bit longer, but what I'm going to do, instead of trying to stretch it all out, I'm just going to right click, convert that to a path, then show my nodes, and then I can grab each node and just move it down to where I want it to be. And so now I got that. So now I want to say this, and actually I want to weld that piece to this piece first. No, I got to convert this to a path, because right now it's a text. It's text. It's not a line. It's not a path. Convert that to a path. Then you can ungroup it. And now you can get ungroup. Did I not get it to a path? Yeah, it's a path. There's ungroup. I hit the wrong button. Ungroup it. Now you can pick the inner part of the A, hold your shift button and pick that little rectangle you just drew, weld those together. And now that's going to be too long. And that's a funky shape. But I'm going to go back down here to my nodes, and I'll just bring that down to about there and about there. And then A, subtract B. Oh, did that wrong, so that didn't work. That one, I picked the wrong one. That, A, subtract B. There. So now it still looks like it's an A, but it's got something to hold on to it. And you'd have to do the same thing here for your L and for your E and for your E. So it's a whole lot easier because I don't like the stencil fonts. There's actually a font that you could use that's for this very reason. I'm on. And a lot of people that don't know how to do the node editing and the editing of the font, they'll use stencils like that, because there it is. It's got all those lines that break everything up. So your inner part of your A stays. There is no lowercase, everything. So editing your font, and you'd clean this up, get rid of all those extra nodes in there. Delete those and delete that and that. And you might even put a little bit of curve on that and curve that one up just a little bit. In fact, all that needs to be cleaned up a little bit. That node, that one pointing out and or inside, that just makes it look bad. I'll bring that back in here and then draw that down a little bit. Smooth. There we go. Like that. And that just looks better. Anyway, all right, guys. It's a long one. I'm going to go cut this. I'm going to go paint some wood and cut this out. So hopefully that helped a little bit, Valerie. And yeah, I see. That's cool. Yep. Not related, but what is your setup so you can have your laser in your house? Mine is in the she shed with little heat. Well, Miss Nancy, this is not my house. I live in an RV. I am a hobo. This is a commercial piece of property that I do own. It's the only thing I've got left. And it used to be a church, and I'm in the sanctuary right now. And I've got a window that's 2 feet away from me. And I've got the side exhaust. If you ain't seen that, that's really cool. You use my link, hobowithwood.com/Rolly. You see my exhaust tube is coming out of the right side of my Lasermatic. And I've got that exhaust going straight over and vented out the window. Yeah. And I'm so close to the window that the exhaust tube that comes with the Rolly is way too long. I'm literally, I could reach and open and close the window from here. So I just vent it straight out the window. And the exhaust works so good on these that when I take the time, got the window open and everything's hooked up, there's no smell in the house, nothing. Yeah, and Nancy said, or you can just cut the name out and glue it on. Yeah, and that give you the 3D look. That would actually not look bad since I'm doing the raised fenders and the raised tires, having the name on top. In fact, probably what I would do if I was going to do the 3-dimensional, I would cut out the offset and put the offset on top of where it's welded in place, so it raises the entire offset off, and maybe put the name on top of the offset even. I don't know. Yeah, making layers adds depth, adds more value to the product. It looks better, in my opinion. Andy says he's got his in his office with an enclosure and a good exhaust fan, hose assembly going out the window. Yeah, yep, that's what I did. Doesn't that feel great when you get it for the first time? Nice cross. Sorry, I was putting my chickens in their coop for the night. Well, depending on where you're at, you better have a heated coop. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you for hanging around. Again, this started out in the UK, and now I'm way over here again. It's 8 o'clock. But that's okay. It's 8 o'clock. It's an hour. I'm ending this an hour earlier than I would have done it, and we've gone much, much longer than I thought we would. And I'm surprised some of you have been here the whole dang time. All right, I'm going to make a door hanger. Look for this to be on hobowithwood.com within the next 18 hours or so. finished with an example showing that it does and it works. And once I post it on hobowithwood.com, it'll be free for 24 hours. Free for 24 hours. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate you guys. And I got a lot accomplished today. And thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. So you guys have a good evening.